Yeah. Same dirt diamond on the Friday light. Same town showing very high. Names change, rolled this game, never said goodbye. From hand-me-down gloves to brand new dreams, every era left something in these seams. You don't replace what built this ground, you stand on it and play it loud. If this field could talk, it'd tell you all. Every pitch matters in this town. This is Gator, this is how we play. 9 innings, no shortcuts, earn it every day. Stand up, let it ring, from the bleachers to the wallers. This town plays ball with the Decatur Bean Ballers. Beanball baller, beanball baller.
Historic Danville Stadium, just west of the Illinois-Indiana border in Danville, Illinois, has housed several legends such as Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige during its minor league days, but now it is home to the Danville Dans. You're listening to Prospect League Baseball on the official YouTube channel for the Decatur Bean Ballers. The Bean Ballers visit the Dans today, Tuesday, June 30th, the fourth meeting between the two. I'm Daniel Herzog, joined by my broadcast partner, Truman Griessel, and the Bean Ballers still looking for that elusive victory, that elusive 10th victory. Decatur off to an 0-3 start to start the second half, 9-18 on the season, and losers of 8 straight as they come to Danville. And if you're Gabe Arroyo, you're just looking to find a way to victory. This is a team that the Bean Ballers have already faced 3 times, and in those 3 games, Decatur has plated few runs, only 8 runs across the 3 games, so certainly looking for a different story today if you're Gabe Arroyo's squad.
Well, yeah, I mean, offense has been hard to come by. I mean, you haven't scored more than 5 runs since your last win, which occurred almost 14 days ago, 12 to be exact, and it's just been a tough stretch for the offense. It's been a tough stretch for the pitchers. They've tried to hold it together, but then really over the weekend, the Jackson Rocket Blues really bashed the pitchers in, and not much the offense could do, and now you're the week before the All-Star break. You're only 0-3 to start this second half. Now is the time when players for teams are leaving and going. This is the time to make your move. You've got a core group of guys, a couple of new guys we'll see tonight in the lineup, trying to just provide them a spark and see if you can just snap the losing skid and get back to winning Decatur Bean Baller baseball.
Yeah, the Bean Ballers, as we mentioned, losers in 8 straight, but only one of those has come on the road. That was last Wednesday at the Terre Haute Rex. The other 7 all at Workman Family Field. There have been a few rainouts on the road, one in Alton. Another one would have been another game last week in Terre Haute, but nonetheless, the Bean Ballers are finally back on the road for the first time since that loss at Terre Haute, and their lineup is as follows. Brandon Abernathy leads off. Abernathy in left field. The debut, Chase Weiss from Stony Brook. He will play second base and hit second right behind Abernathy. Right behind him, the designated hitter, the Bean Ballers are all-star Jackson Snitko. Misael Maldonado hitting cleanup in right field. And then Hampton Petska, another Beanie Baby, making his debut for the Bean Ballers. He'll play first base and hit 5th in his first game with Decatur. Matthew Novominski right behind him in center, hitting 6th. Caleb Kreider hitting 7th and playing third base. Moises Febriette hitting 8th and playing shortstop. And the man behind the plate tonight for the Bean Ballers is Gage Reynolds, hitting 9th, and he will have the catching duties for Nathan Trimble, who's on the mound for the Bean Ballers tonight. Once again, that is Abernathy, Weiss, Snitko, Misael Maldonado, Petska, Novominski, and then Kreider, Febriette, Reynolds to round things out with Trimble on the mound. And on the other side for the Danville Dans, who finished second just behind the Du Bois County Bombers in the Central Division. In this division clash, Jacob May will lead off in center field, and then the all-star in the lineup for the Dans, Will Burke, in right field will hit second. Nick Palmy right behind him, hitting third and playing shortstop. The designated hitter, Mason McReynolds, will have the cleanup duties tonight. Chase Bays right behind him, playing third base and hitting fifth. Jeremy Rona right behind him, hitting sixth and playing left field. Behind the plate, J.J. Basinger catching and hitting seventh. Right behind him, Nicholas Saddam hitting eighth and playing first base. And the second baseman, Nick Nelson, rounds out the order, hitting ninth. And at the Keystone, and Colin Asbury on the mound for the Dans. So, Truman, the Bean Ballers have their all-star Nate Trimble on the mound. What do they need to do to give Trimble the win in this one and finally cut this losing streak down at 8?
Well, to put it simply, they score more runs than the Danville Dans do. And, I mean, it'll start with Trimble. He's given them a chance in every start he's pitched. And for him, last time out, no walks against the Terre Haute Rex across 5 innings, but he did hit 3 guys. And that's going to be the key, to command the walks and the hit-by pitches, those free bases. Those eventually can stack up, and then all it takes is one big hit to really put a crooked number on the scoreboard. But, I mean, I think it starts with the offense. The offense has got to get going early, swinging early in the count, aggressive swings. You know, when you get in a losing streak, you overanalyze. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong every pitch? I think they just need to scrap everything they've thought of and just, hey, let's just go up to the plate hacking and see what happens, especially against Colin Asbury making his first start of the summer here for Danville. You know, he might be a little rusty, so it's not about chasing pitches. It's just about going up there hacking and having good at-bats.
Yeah, you mentioned the Bean Ballers just need run support. This is a team Decatur's only scored 8 runs against in the 3 games so far this season, but they've only allowed 10, so it's certainly not out of the question. You just need to get some run support for your all-star. And the Bean Ballers looking to finally cut this losing streak down after losing 8 straight. But we'll step aside. We'll be right back with first pitch here at Danville Stadium between the Danville Dans and the Decatur Bean Ballers right after this. It's the big right-hander from Potomac, Illinois on the mound, Colin Asbury on the mound for the Danville Dans. And in the field behind him, on the infield, it's the Knicks and the Bays. J.J. Baysinger behind the plate, Chase Bays at third, and then Nick Palmy at short, Nick Nelson at second, and Nicholas Saddam at first base. And then left to right, Jeremy Rona, Jacob May, and Will Burke in the outfield. Now Brandon Abernathy, the leadoff hitter for the Bean Ballers, to the plate. Abernathy comes in hitting .279 on the season. Again, Decatur looking to kill their losing streak at 8. Asbury from the windup. Kick and deal, and we're underway. First pitch drops in for a strike at the knees. 6:35 first pitch. Abernathy down 0-1. Asbury back to work. The 0-1. Abernathy swings and misses, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Asbury from the windup again. Kick and deal. Abernathy taps it foul at the plate. Stays alive. And we talked about the Bean Ballers having several new guys to the squad. The same can be said for Danville, as Asbury making his Dan's debut. From the windup, the 0-2. Abernathy takes a fastball upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes now, the count to the Bean Ballers left fielder.
That's what I expected to be from Asbury, a heavy dose of fastballs, especially in his first start. Spent the past 2 years at Kankakee Community College, transferred to Western Illinois for this upcoming spring. A heavy dose of fastballs.
The 1-2. Breaking ball, Abernathy taps to the left side, fielded by Palmy. Toss across the diamond is in time to get Abernathy. Bang, bang play at first. Goes the way of the Dans, and there's 1 out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, it was pretty much right in the hole between Bays and Palmy, and I'm surprised Bays didn't go get that ball. I think Palmy calls him off. He works through it, makes a strong throw, but Abernathy runs well, so it easily could have been an infield single.
So now to the plate, one of 2 Decatur debutants, Chase Weiss, the second baseman, his first at-bat with the Bean Ballers. And the first pitch he sees, Weiss takes downstairs. Quickly back to work. The 0-1 from Asbury. Rather, the 1-0 tapped at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike count now even to Weiss, who spent last season at Stony Brook after transferring there from Rock Valley College. And with the Seawolves for his junior season, the Bloomington, Illinois native who attended Normal Community High School grounds this one towards Palmy again, takes a tall hop, toss across the diamond in time. 2 6-3 put out so far. Bean Ballers 2 away, nobody on here in the top of the first.
Yeah, much easier play for Palmy, and this is a thick infield grass. It's going to slow the ball down, but that time Palmy got a nice big hop to not have, especially an all-natural surface here. You can get some tough hops, but a nice big hop and able to retire Weiss.
So now Jackson Snitko, the Bean Ballers all-star, to the plate. Got the off-day Sunday back in the lineup, but as the DH today. First pitch to Snitko, misses away, and he's ahead in the count 1-0. Snitko is the only Bean Baller hitting above 300. He comes in hitting .321 through his first 84 at-bats. Next pitch, line down the left field line, hooking, and that's going to be just foul. That was fair for probably about 95% of its flight path, but landed just foul of the left field line, and count now even 1 ball and 1 strike to Snitko. Snitko tied for the Bean Ballers lead in RBIs with 15. Second on the team in doubles with 6. His 27 hits leads the team. The 1-1 grounded foul down the right field line. And Snitko in the hole, 1-2. Snitko hitting from the left side against the right-hander Asbury, but spent plenty of time hitting from the right side this past weekend. Played in both games of the doubleheader on Saturday against the Rockabillys and saw all lefties during that time, so he was hitting from the right side. Now back to the left side. The 1-2 from Asbury. Breaking ball fouled back into the netting, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Misael Maldonado, the right fielder, on deck should Snitko reach. The 1-2. Fastball misses away. Count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here in the top of the first. This is the 4th time these teams are meeting, but the first time it happens here at Danville Stadium. The other 3 all in Decatur at Workman Family Field. The 1-2 lined sharply, and it gets through for a base hit into right field. It landed just below the glove of the second baseman, Nick Nelson. And it got into right field. We'll see how that's scored, but rather sharp contact off the bat of Jackson Snitko.
And there's where the natural surface plays the advantage. Nelson over there at second tries to field that, and he just doesn't. He thinks it's going to be a bigger hop than it is. That ball's hit on a frozen rope. And unfortunately for Snitko, that'll be an error, but that ball was pieced.
And unfortunately for both Nelson and Snitko, it's ruled E4, but the Bean Ballers have a base runner. Now Maldonado to the plate. First pitch takes in the dirt. Basinger thought about throwing down to check on Snitko, but Snitko says no need, I'll get back. And now 1-0 the count to the Bean Ballers right fielder. Asbury now from the stretch, the 1-0. Maldonado takes a strike on the outside corner on a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's where Maldonado has been vulnerable this season, those pitches away from the right-hander, breaking balls and fastballs. He's a middle-in guy, and if he can expand his hitting ability to go the other way, he can be a 5-tool player.
Asbury ready for the 1-1. The delivery. Maldonado chops it foul down the third base line. And he's quickly in the hole, 1-2. Maldonado, a native of Santa Isabel, Puerto Rico, had quite the doubleheader, although the Bean Ballers dropped both games. 3 hits across the 2 games. The highlight, a 3-run home run against the Jackson Rockabillys in Game 1 on Saturday, leading 3 of the 4 Bean Ballers runs in that contest. The 1-2, Maldonado lines down the third base line, just foul. That's now a pair of foul balls, one by Maldonado, one by Snitko, down the third base left field line, and then landed by mere feet, if not inches, foul of the foul line. So it's still 1-2. 2 outs. Asbury ready for the 1-2. The delivery. Maldonado lines it into the gap in left center. Ranging over, not able to make the catch is the left fielder. Snitko going first to third. Maldonado wants second, and he's in. The throw to the infield gets away for a second, but Chase Bays picks it up. But Maldonado with the first base hit for the Bean Ballers, and they have runners at second and third with 2 away here in the top of the first.
Yeah, pitch up in the zone. Maldonado's able to drive it into the gap in left center. A long run for Rhoda and May. It's pretty much split them, and then easily able to get to second for a double. But even though a couple of groundouts to start the game for the Bean Ballers, it's been 4 good at-bats so far. So now the other Bean Baller debut today, Hampton Potska to the plate. A Shelbyville, Illinois native, was a high school teammate of Nathan Trimble. First pitch he sees, takes a fastball away, ball 1. And since the losing streak has started, it seems
it's not just the scoring that's fallen off. The scoring opportunities have fallen off for the Bean Ballers. But now runners at second and third. The next pitch to Petska, swing and a miss. Chases a fastball upstairs, and the count now even 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, yeah, they've been getting less hits per game during this losing streak, less walks, which translates to less base runners, therefore, like you said, less scoring opportunities. That's why you got to capitalize when you have the ones early.
The next pitch from Asbury. Potska lines foul into the netting behind him, and he's quickly in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just a little tardy on that fastball. Got to get the front foot down. Seen an occasional slider from Asbury, but be sitting on that heater, get that front foot down, and look to drive something here, because we saw it in batting practice. The wind is blowing out to dead center field, but this ball flies here at Danville Stadium.
Petska spent last season at Sauk Valley Community College. Big frame, 6'3", 225. Asbury delivers. Breaking ball downstairs. Count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the first. Bean Ballers looking to plate the first run today. Asbury delivers. Breaking ball swung on and missed for strike 3. Petska goes down swinging. The Bean Ballers mount a 2-out rally, but can't plate a run. We go to the bottom of the first, still scoreless between the Bean Ballers and the Danville Dans here at Danville Stadium. It's the all-star on the mound for the Bean Ballers, Nathan Trimble. A Shelbyville, Illinois native, spent last season at Oakland City University and got the all-star nod, one of 2 all-star nods for the Decatur Bean Ballers in their inaugural season. Along with Jackson Snitko, he will represent Decatur in Lafayette a week from today. The all-star game a week from tomorrow. Festivities next Tuesday and Wednesday. But for Trimble, the rising senior from Shelbyville, the big right-hander, it's his first start in quite a bit. Trimble's last start came last Wednesday at Terre Haute. Threw 5 innings, striking out 1, gave up 4 hits and 3 runs in that one, but overall has thrown 31 1/3 innings pitched, has periodically, after his starts, reached the top of the leaderboards in innings pitched across the Prospect League. A 3.16 ERA, 109 whip, only 19 strikeouts, but he's been a very dependable guy on the mound for the Bean Ballers. And now the center fielder, Jacob May, into the batter's box, digging in, hitting from the left side against the righty. Trimble to lead things off for the Dans half of the first. Trimble only works from the stretch. The first pitch to May misses upstairs, and May quickly ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. Trimble back to work. Kreider in on the grass at third. Next pitch to May, catches the inside corner on a fastball. Count now even, 1 ball and 1 strike. now the 1-1 from Trimble. May fouls back, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Dan center fielder. Trimble actually coming in, still does lead the Prospect League in innings pitched with his 31 1/3. This is his 8th start of the season. Next pitch to May, grounded to short. Fabriette has it, tosses to first in time for out number 1. So both leadoff batters hit a ground ball to short. Both are put away, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
That's a nice job from Moises Fabriette, who's had a problem in the field at points, and that time he did a good job staying low and throwing through first base. He didn't let that upper body rise up. That's when we've seen problems with him air-milling throws, but nice job, got a nice clean hop, and that's what Trimble's going to do. He's going to attack the strike zone against these hitters.
So now it's a battle of all-stars. First pitch from Trimble to Will Burke. Grounded left side, fielded in the hole at third by Kreider. Toss across the diamond in time to get Will Burke by a couple of steps. So this all-star battle goes to Nate Trimble, and 2 are away quickly here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, tough playing the hole for Kreider, but we've seen how good of a glove he has, and he sets his feet as well. He doesn't go out of control and makes a nice strong throw.
So now it's another Sunshine State native following up Burke. Nick Palmy to the plate, the shortstop who hails from St. Cloud, Florida. First pitch from Trimble. Palmy swings and misses for strike 1. In the field for the Bean Ballers, around the infield, Patska at first. Weiss at second, Fabriette at short, Kreider at third. Next pitch from Trimble. 0-1 misses low. Count now even 1-1. Behind the plate for Nate Trimble today is Gage Reynolds, the catcher, and then around the outfield, Brandon Abernathy in left, Matthew Novominski in center, and Misael Maldonado in right, with Jackson Snitko serving as the DH tonight. The 1-1 to Palmy. Palmy chops at the plate, foul. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count now to the Dan shortstop. Palmy comes in, hitting just a shade under 300 at 294 through 102 at-bats, which leads the team. The 1-2 misses away, and the count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nick Palmy, who spent this past season at Florida Atlantic University. The 2-2 from Trimble. Palmy lines into center field. Novominski retreats and makes a reaching grab for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the first for Nate Trimble. We go to the second, still scoreless between the Dans and Bean Ballers. It's 6-7-8 due up for the Decatur Bean Ballers here as we start the second inning at Danville Stadium. Still scoreless between the Bean Ballers and the Danville Dans. Matthew Novominski, Caleb Kreider, and Moises Fabriette due up for Decatur, who had runners at second and third, but Hampton Petska struck out. And the Bean Ballers failed to plate a run on Debut for Colin Asbury in his first inning. On for his second inning of work now. First pitch to Novominski. Misses upstairs on a fastball. And Novominski's ahead in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. For Novominski, hitting just under 250 at 246 on the season. Next pitch he takes downstairs. He's ahead. A nice hitter's count. 2 balls and no strikes. Novominski tied for the team lead in walks with 16, rather second or third. Nope, tied for the team lead in walks. Grounds this one right side, fielded at first by Nicholas Saddam. Takes it to the bag himself, and there's 1 away here in the top of the second.
Yeah, tough swing 2-0 right there from Novominski. I mean, 2-0, you want a pitch that you can drive right there, and he just rolls over out in front. Would like to see a better swing 2-0 there, but good job by Asbury to induce the swing nonetheless.
Now Caleb Kreider to the plate, comes in hitting 269, digging in from the right side against the righty Asbury. First pitch, Kreider takes upstairs with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the count to the Bean Ballers' third baseman. For Kreider so far, appeared in 19 games, started 18. This is his 19th start. As he takes a breaking ball that drops in there for strike 1. Has 18 hits on the season, all singles. And a 1-1 count with 1 away. Asbury deals. Another breaking ball. This one misses away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now the count to Kreider. Again from Asbury. Another breaking ball. This one clips the zone again. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Kreider went 1 for 5 with a stolen base on Sunday, and he swings and misses down the second punch out of the day for Asbury. 2 away here in the top of the second.
Yeah, it was 2 sliders away that with the outside corner, and then this time out, Asbury just buries another slider, and this time Kreider chases it. Gets him to reduce the swing, but more confidence. Asbury gets more innings. I'm sure we'll see him mix that slider and more, especially to these righties and away from them.
Now Moises Febriet to the plate. First pitch, breaking ball drops in at the knees for strike 1. So it was a heavy dose of fastballs in the first inning, but so far it's been a lot of sliders. The 0-1, another slider. This one in the dirt. Febriet swings and misses over the top of it, and he's quickly in the hole 0-2. Asbury back to work from the windup. The 0-2. Febriet takes downstairs on a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Bean Ballers shortstop. Febriet from San Isabel, or rather San Cristobal, was a Little League teammate of O'Neal Felice, and that's how he made his way to Decatur, Illinois. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Febriet down on strikes, the second punch out of the inning for Asbury, third of the game. Bean Ballers go 1-2-3 in the top of the second. We go to the bottom half of the second. No score between the Dans and Bean Ballers. Heart of the order 4-5-6 due up for the Danville Dans, Mason McReynolds, Chase Bays, and Jeremy Rona. The Dans today are sporting their green jerseys with red numbers and white sleeves, white pants, and helmets of several different colors, but green hats with the Danville Dan D logo. Meanwhile, the Bean Ballers, they're traveling navy blue that have silver lettering outlined in cyan blue and big silver numbers outlined in cyan on the back. Meanwhile, gray pants with piping down the legs and a cyan blue hat with a navy bill and a white D logo on the front. Now, Mason McReynolds, Chase Bays, and Jeremy Rona due up for the Dans, who went 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first, but the Bean Ballers went 1-2-3 in the top of the second, still scoreless here at Danville Stadium. Nate Trimble, the all-star for the Bean Ballers, out for his second inning of work. McReynolds from the left side takes ball one inside on the first pitch from Trimble. Ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. The next pitch misses downstairs to McReynolds. And quickly a hitter's count of 2-0. The 2-0 from Trimble. Strike one at the knees on a fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike to McReynolds, who comes in hitting .325. 25 hits on the season, tied for third on the team. The 2-1 misses upstairs, and McReynolds has worked a nice hitter's count, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Trimble had no walks last time out against Terre Haute, but he did hit 3 batters. You go back to start previous, back on June the 18th, he had 5 walks in that one. So it's been a fluctuation of whether his command's been in control or he's been allowing free base runners.
The 3-1 from Trimble. Fastball lined over the head of Febriette at short and into left field for a base hit. Abernathy cuts it off. McReynolds, a big turnaround first, but he'll retreat back with the first base hit of the day for the Danville Dans. And Danville has a runner on with nobody out to lead off the bottom of the second.
That's what a good hitter McReynolds is. I mean, that's fastball middle, and he just lines that over the head of Febriette. And Trimble's had success. It's when he's getting ahead of hitters. And, I mean, starting down 3-1, even missing the first pitch, you're already falling behind. And see if now, just get ahead of hitters, make good pitches, and do sweet contact.
Chase Bays, the third baseman, to the plate, takes ball one on a fastball up and in. Bays comes in hitting .241 on the season. Has started all 24 games he's played in. This is his 25th start, 25th game played of the 28 games so far this season for the Dans, who boast a 16-11 record through their first 27, but 11-4 here at Danville Stadium. The 1-1 from Trimble. Breaking ball clips the elbow guard of Bays, and the first 2 runners reach for the Dans in the bottom of the second. A breaking ball just a little too far inside. Bays willingly takes it, and now McReynolds to second, Bays to first. Jeremy Rona, the left fielder, to the plate, hitting from the left side against Trimble. Trimble staring down McReynolds, now deals to the plate. Rona takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike one.
Yeah, now if you're Trimble, you got to pitch out of a jam right here. I mean, Danville not a team typically known for their small ball, but if you can get Rona to reach down and roll over something, a double play could really help you out here in the second.
The 0-1, Rona swings and misses, and he's quickly in the hole, 0-2. And for Trimble, only 19 strikeouts through his first 32 and a third innings, but only 15 walks, and now 7 hit by pitches. The 0-2. Trimble misses in the dirt. Nice block by Reynolds to keep it in front and keep McReynolds to second base. Now 1-2 the count to Jeremy Rona. Bean Ballers have the middle plugged. Fabriette holding McReynolds on at second, but Weiss is not too far over. Next pitch, Rona taps it foul, stays alive, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Novominski in center, shaded just to the left of center field. And Brennan Abernathy hugging the line in left. Breaking ball called, strike 3. Rona down on strikes. It's the first punch out of the day for Trimble, and there's still 2 on, but now 1 out here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, great pitch. Just pulled the string right there on Rona. Didn't offer at it, and that's a great pitch for Trimble, who hadn't thrown many breaking balls so far to the first 6 hitters, and pulls it out at a good time.
So now another Florida native, J.J. Basinger, the catcher, due up. Swings and misses ahead of a first pitch breaking ball from Trimble. Behind in the count, 0-1. Hails from Seminole, Florida. Attended Hillsborough Community College last season. Tasked with the catching duties tonight. He's wearing, of course, the green jersey, but a tan helmet. Swings at the next pitch, fouls it back into the screen. And quickly behind, 0-2 is Basinger. Basinger comes in just shy of the Mendoza line, hitting 197. This is his 23rd game he's played in, 19th start. Next pitch from Trimble. Fastball looped in the air to left field. Abernathy ranges over and makes the catch for out number 2. McReynolds retreats back to second. Bay's back to first, 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
There's why Trimble can have success when he gets ahead of hitters. He gets them thinking. Fastball by Basinger is just under it. An easy fly out for this outfield. And now 2 outs after the first 2 guys reached. It's been a great response from Nate Trimble.
So now Nicholas Saddam into the batter's box. Hails from Harrison, Ohio. Spent last season at Lincoln Trail College. First pitch from Trimble. Takes downstairs. Trimble misses on the breaking ball, and he's behind in the count 1-0. Now the infield shades to the left. Weiss holding the runner on with a right-handed Saddam at the plate. Next pitch from Trimble downstairs and low. 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 from Trimble. Fastball misses upstairs. Saddam has worked a 3-0 count now. And in addition to Asbury, Saddam making his Danville Dan's debut. So a couple of debuts for both teams. The 3-0 pitch. Fastball right down Main Street. 3 balls and 1 strike. Saddam taking all the way. Certainly doesn't want to anger his manager day one. Now it's a 3-1 count. McReynolds off of second. Trimble looks that way. Now delivers the 3-1. Misses upstairs. And the first plate appearance for Nicholas Saddam. He draws a walk to load the bases. And Nick Nelson now to the plate for the Danville Dans.
Yeah, just 4 misses up from Trimble. You want to keep your misses small because you want to be around the strike zone, but those are 4 uncompetitive pitches that were just way outside the zone. But now the bases are loaded. Now know where to put Nick Nelson. You just got to attack him right here.
Nelson hitting 185 on the season through 27 at-bats. Takes inside, ball 1. Bases are loaded. It's the 9-hitter Nick Nelson at the plate for the Dans, looking to strike first. Bean Ballers left runners on second and third. Back in the top of the first. Trimble deals. Nelson fouls it back off to the left and out of play. A short chase given by Kreider at third base, but that ball was well out of play. The count now 1 ball and 1 strike to Nelson. hails from DeKalb, Illinois, and spent last season at Parkland College in Champaign. Next pitch grounded right side. Diving play made at second base. Toss to first is in time. Welcome to the Decatur Bean Ballers, Chase Weiss. A nice diving play made. Gets up and throws out Nelson to keep the game scoreless. We go to the third inning. Still no score between the Danville Dans and the Decatur Bean Ballers.
Nine 1-2 due up here for the Bean Ballers in the top half of the third after the Danville Dans left the bases loaded on a beautiful diving play made by Chase Weiss. Welcome to the Bean Ballers moment. Farm fires up his squad. Now they'll try to put the first runs up on the board here in this third inning.
Yeah, the Bean Ballers did a good job to keep runs off the board after the Danville Dans did a good job to keep runs off the board in the top of the first. Both teams have now left a situation where they had runners on at least second and third for the Dans last inning. It was bases loaded, and now Decatur, bottom to top, due up in the order, a chance to finally put the first run across in the game.
Gage Reynolds, the catcher, rounds out this Bean Ballers lineup, hitting .233. 7 hits and 30 at-bats coming into this plate appearance. First pitch from Asbury, high and away, ball 1.
Now batting for Decatur, batting ninth, the catcher, number 2, Gage Reynolds.
Reynolds is making his second consecutive start for the first time this season. The 1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0. Reynolds went 1 for 4 in the loss Sunday to Jackson. But he collected his first extra base hit of the season and came around to score after he doubled. Asbury out of the line, the 2-0, breaking ball. Reynolds chases, 2-1.
Yeah, if you're Reynolds, that's exactly the pitch you got to be aware of. That was Asbury's bread and butter last inning. The slider low and away. Got a pair of strikeouts from Kreider and Fabriette. You got to be aware of it.
Fastball's up and in, 3 balls and a strike now to the Bean Ballers backstop.
That being said, his double was on a pitch, low and away. Put it the other way, right down the first base line. So if you get a fastball away, try to do the same.
Breaking ball, he chases and ropes it foul off the Danville dugout. Full count now. Top of the lineup, Brandon Abernathy on deck. This is just Reynolds' third start outside of Working Family Baseball Field, just 1 for 7 on the road thus far. Payoff pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. Bean Ballers have their leadoff man aboard, courtesy of a Gage Reynolds walk.
Left fielder, Brandon.
Nice job done by Reynolds. Doesn't get fooled by the same pitch twice. The Bean Ballers leadoff runner aboard. Now you got the top of the order due up with nobody out.
9th walk of the season drawn by Reynolds. First that Asbury has issued tonight. He went 1-2-3 in the second. First pitch to Brandon Abernathy. Squares around to bunt, but he fouls it off himself in the box for strike 1.
Yeah, Truman, we talked about the Bean Ballers. Not only has the scoring been few and far between, the scoring opportunities have been few and far between. Gabe Arroyo maybe looking to play a little small ball, put a runner in scoring position.
Bean Ballers coming in averaging just 5 runs on 7 hits per game. Both are the second least in the Prospect League, just hitting .245 overall as a team at bat. Abernathy above that line, though, .279 is a pickoff over at first. Reynolds dives back in safely. We've hit the final day here in the month of June. Abernathy a .269 month, so under his season average, 18 hits over the course of this month. 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Basinger. Ballers still looking for that first win of the Prospect League second half, off to an 0-3 start, trying to dig themselves out of an early hole and claim the second half playoff spot. 1-1 pitch, chopped to the left side, foul outside of third. Ball and 2 strikes now on Abernathy. Abernathy went 1 for 3 on Sunday in the loss. He's now making his 4th start in all 4 games that the Dans and Bean Ballers have squared up against each other. He's now 3 for 12 this season against Danville pitching. Another check over at Reynolds, but the catcher's back in safely. Asbury comes set. Gives a check. He now fires. Breaking ball slides outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think if you're Abernathy, you've seen a lot of pitches away. The Bean Ballers as a whole have seen a lot of pitches away. Look to go the other way as Nelson is all the way nearly behind the bag at second. There's a gaping hole to the right side.
2-2. Spoils a breaking ball. Count remains the same. Danville playing for the double play up the middle and double play depth. Bean Ballers lead the Prospect League. They've grounded into 20 double plays as a team. An insane number considering this is just their 28th game. They are close to averaging 1 double play per game. Abernathy himself has grounded into 1. Another 2-2 pitch. Spoils another spinner. And quite the battle shaping up between Abernathy and Asbury here the second time they've dueled.
Yeah, Truman, we talked about this a game a while ago. Abernathy, there's just an art to the way he fouls off pitches. He works long at bats. He's really good at making contact. And there are a few pitches this at bat that have been outside the zone, but he still gets the bat to it and stays alive.
7th pitch of the at bat. Fastball ripped to the right side and through into right field. Second hit of the game for the Bean Ballers, and the first 2 hitters have reached here to start the 3rd.
Yeah, this is a great piece of hitting from Abernathy. Fastball outer half just puts it the other way. As we talked about, the infield with the righty at the plate was playing him to pull, but Asbury has been working the Bean Ballers away. Abernathy finds that hole to the right side, and the Bean Ballers have 2 on, nobody out, and a chance for one of their 2 new members to make a statement with his bat as he already has with his glove.
The 25th hit of the summer for Abernathy. That'll be Chase Weiss as J.J. Basinger goes out to have a chat with Colin Asbury. Both Asbury and Weiss, even though they're making their debuts here in this game, they are both familiar with the Prospect League. Last summer, Asbury spent it with the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. And then for Weiss, he spent last summer with the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. Appeared in 22 games for Springfield, hit .282 did Weiss. First pitch, he squares around a butt, ducks out of the way of a breaking ball that squirted out of the hand of Asbury for ball 1. He's currently in the transfer portal after redshirting this past spring at Stony Brook. After he had a 2-year successful career at Rock Valley College. One 0 pitch. Squares around again. Fastball high and away. Now you have to think, if you let swing away here on 2-0 and a good hitter's count.
Yeah, 2-0, you got to give him something to hit or at least bunt at if you're Asbury. And there's a big hole to the left side with middle infielders plugging up the middle.
Squares again, gets the bunt down, pops it up, and it gets under the glove of Asbury. Abernathy scampering to second. Everybody's safe. And now the bases are loaded for the Bean Ballers.
Yeah, this is just a really tough play for Asbury getting off the mound. Definitely not where Weiss wanted to put the bunt, and certainly not where he thought how he envisioned his first hit as a Bean Baller, but nonetheless, Asbury trying to get off the mound. Of course, there's a drop in elevation from the mound to the rest of the infield. Can't quite reach down enough to get that ball, and it gets right under him. And again, the middle infielders were playing back up the middle, so Nelson has to range all the way over from essentially behind the second base bag. And Abernathy, who did get a late jump on it, still had plenty of time to get into second. Now the bases are loaded, nobody out, and the Bean Ballers' best hitter at the plate.
Jacob Ferguson, the pitching coach for Danville in his second season, out to talk with Asbury. Danville Stadium, one of the unique stadiums, one of the few that has a dirt runway from the mound to home plate. The last MLB stadium to have that, Comerica Park up in Detroit. It's leading RBI man for Decatur, Jackson Snitko. First pitch to him, roped down the right field line, but it hooks foul. Trying to clear the bases on one swing. But it's a long strike one.
Yeah, Asbury is working the Bean Ballers, who have a predominantly righty lineup, has been working those righties away. What's that to lefties? That's in and right in the happy zone for Jackson Snitko, so I can't imagine he'll be trying to find that location much more. The Snitko just puts this foul of the right field foul line.
Asbury back into the windup with the bases loaded. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Pulled the string on the changeup. It was a tough week last week for Snitko. He had just 2 hits and 14 at-bats. Did work 3 walks, but he's trying to turn his week around. 1-1. Off the end of the bat, dribbled out towards short. Palmy flips to second for 1, and that's the only out Danville will get as Gage Reynolds crosses the plate, and the Bean Ballers are on the board first.
Yeah, this ball is hit right in the direction of Palmy, but like you said, Truman, right off the end of the bat, and Snitko is really chugging out of the box for the Bean Ballers, who have been plagued all season by grounding into double plays. He makes sure he gets to first and doesn't fall victim to the same illness and plates the first run for the Bean Ballers. But once again, the scoring opportunities have been few and far between. So with this, I think Decatur, to feel good about this inning as a whole, you got to come away with more than just one.
16th RBI for Jackson Snitko. Runners are at the corner, still 1 away from Misael Maldonado. Extra base hit his first time up. Takes a breaking ball in the dirt. Snitko to second, the throw down from Basinger, not in time. Abernathy got off third, throw back, he's safe. But Snitko moves up on the wild pitch, puts 2 in scoring position, and eliminates the double play opportunity.
Yeah, it was a good jump by Snitko, but it wasn't the best read. This ball isn't too far away from Basinger in front of the plate. He gets to it quickly. It's just the throw goes into Palmy, who's coming over from short, pulls him back just the tiniest bit towards shortstop, towards left field. Can't come up with it cleanly, and Snitko slides in safely.
1-0 pitches in there on the outside corner for a strike.
But, yeah, now even more with runners on second and third, you have to plate more runs in this inning to feel good about it.
Fastball outside, 2-1. Now to Maldonado. With that double back in the first, now hit safely in 4 straight games. Over the 3 games over the weekend against Jackson, he went 5 for 11, one of the bright spots in an otherwise very sour weekend up in Decatur. The 2-1 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Basinger. Hitters count 3-1 with Hampton Petska on deck.
Yeah, 3-1. You do have an open base, but you technically have to throw something to hit to Maldonado. You just got to be careful.
Out of the windup. 3-1's chopped to the left side. Bays is back. He throws across and it airmails, but snagged out of the air by Saddam. But Maldonado beats it out and another run scores. Now 2-0 Decatur on Danville's second error of the night.
Yeah, 3-1. He does get something to hit. It's a little low in the zone, so all Maldonado can do is put it into the ground. But it's a tough play for Bays. The toss across the diamond. He comes back to field it, and the grass slows it down, so it's a close play at first, and he just airmails the throw. He'll get, this won't be a base hit for Maldonado, but he will get the RBI.
Now Hampton Petska stands in. He had a chance in the first, second, and third, 2 outs. Swung and missed through a heater in his first at-bat in a Bean Ballers uniform. 1-0 pitch in the dirt, and this time it gets by Basinger all the way back to the chain link fence backstop. So both runners will move up, and pretty much the same exact scenario for Petska, except 1 less out.
Yeah, now the double play is no longer in play for the Dans. And if you're Petska, just look for something to drive. It's 2-0, so at some point Asbury can't get too picky with his locations. He's got to throw something to hit.
Second and third, 1 away. Top of the third, 2 already home for Decatur. The 2-0. Petska flies one in the air to center field. May's got it. Tagging is Snitko. He'll come to the plate, and he's in there safely. And it's the first career RBI for Hampton Petska on the sacrifice fly.
Yeah, this outfield for the Dans playing relatively deep the way the ball is carrying. It's a hot end of June day and very humid, so the ball carries well. May comes in on this, but not in enough and can't get enough on the throw. It dies on the infield, and Snitko in safely. Now Decatur has plated 3 runs, the most they've scored in any inning against the Dans so far this season.
Still 1 man out there. Misael Maldonado still on second, and Matthew Novominski digs in for the second time. Grounded out to first last inning. Swings away, grounds one up the middle this time. Palmy's got it behind second. Fires it across to retire the side. But the Bean Ballers strike first. 3 runs on 2 hits. 1 man left on base, but they take a 3-0 lead headed to the bottom of the third here in Danville, Illinois. Top of the lineup here for Danville in their half of the third. They now trail by 3 runs as the Bean Ballers offense got guys on base early, and big swings came through from their big bats in the lineup.
Yeah, Truman, something we've yet to mention on the broadcast is the last 7 losses of that 8-game losing streak that's still active for the Bean Ballers coming into today. The last 7 games, Decatur failed to score first. They've plated the first 3 runs today against the Dans. Is that the recipe to finally killing this losing streak at 8? Who knows, but certainly a welcome sign for Gabe Arroyo that 2 of the 3 innings so far, you've gotten guys into scoring position and had scoring opportunities, and one of them you've really followed through.
Well, and in this 8-game losing streak, the only team they scored first against was the Danville Dans. They led 1-0 after the first inning a couple Fridays ago when the losing streak started. But the Dans immediately answered, went on to win that game 3-1. And, well, the losing streak started with Danville. They're trying to end it with Danville. Jacob May, Will Burke, Nick Palmy. Nate Trimble got some help from a stellar play over at second from Chase Weiss to end the second. The base is loaded. First pitch to May is downstairs for a ball. May, a San Diego, California native, played in 51 games this past spring at California State Bakersfield. Fastball on the inner half of the plate for strike 1. Hit .298 this past spring. This is just his 3rd game here with the Dans. He's already got 3 hits and 8 at-bats. Breaking balls, golfed in the air. Deep right center field. Maldonado's back. He's going to watch this one. It's out of here. Jacob May shows off that California power and answers with a solo homer to start the 3rd.
Yeah, if you're Trimble, you just got to put this one behind you. You serve him an absolute cookie right down the heart of the plate, and May does not miss it. Blasts it out. Maldonado knows it's gone. May knows it's gone. Trimble knows it's gone. And now you just got to get that first out.
Second homer of the summer for May. First pitch fouled off from Will Burke for strike 1. He's swinging away early. Burke grounded out to Caleb Kreiner the first time up. May showing off the power in his first game in front of the home crowd. The 0-1 pitch from Trimble. Breaking ball inside corner, strike 2.
And the long ball hasn't really been the issue for Trimble, just the second home run he's given up all season across now 33 and a third innings pitched, rather 33 and a third innings pitched, so it's just something you need to wipe off and focus on this next batter.
Fastball's in the dirt to Burke. Ball and 2 strikes now. He was 6 for 19 last week with 3 walks. He has 4 hits this season, now playing in his 4th game versus Decatur. The 1-2. Fastball upstairs. Count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Trimble. Spiked it. Full count. Now against Burke with Nick Palmy on deck. Burke went hitless 0 for 2 back on Friday against Jackson. Before that, he had hit safely in 5 straight home games. Trying to restart that streak here tonight. Payoff pitch. Chop foul outside of third. He stays alive. Burke, a .310 hitter, 27 hits. Another payoff pitch. Chops another pitch, foul just outside of third again. And he'll head back to the batter's box and do it again with Nate Trimble.
Yeah, so far for Burke today, it's just been a lot of stuff low in the zone. He swung at the first pitch he saw in the first inning, grounded out to third. He's had a lot of foul balls that are on the ground so far. Miss at bat.
3-2 off the glove of Trimble. He picks it up, flips it over to Petska for out number 1, and Trimble seems to be okay. And he does it himself to retire Burke for the second time, the all-star pitcher, getting better of the Dan's all-star hitter.
Yeah, pitchers are athletes too. That's something we've talked about, Truman and I, so far this season with Nate Trimble, with Parker Phillips. Just great job, moves his body out of the way, but gets the glove in front of it and kills it right into the ground. Tosses to first in time and gets the first out.
Breaking ball's high to Nick Palmy. 1-0. Palmy hit it hard his first time up, but lined out to Matthew Novominski in center. One-0's skied in the air, foul down the left field line, ball and a strike. Palmy comes in hitting safely in 6 of his last 7 games. He's got 7 hits over that span, including 6 of them have gone for extra bases. 2 doubles, 3 triples, and a couple of home runs. Curveball's outside, 2-1. Palmy leads the team with 7 3-baggers up to this point this summer. Fastball's upstairs from Trimble, and he's fallen behind 3 balls and a strike now. Palmy has shown off the speed. He also leads the dance with 9 stolen bases on the year. 3-1 pitch. Downstairs below the knees, ball 4. No, Nick Palmy's on with a 1-out walk.
Now this one, Trimble just overcompensates. He missed up a few times to Palmy, tries to go low, goes a little bit too below the zone. And at 3-1, that's not competitive enough to get Palmy to offer at. So now you have a runner on first base.
Second walk issued by Trimble here this evening. 3rd free pass. He hit a batter and walked a guy last inning.
The DH,
Mason McReynolds had his 26th hit to lead off the second. He now stands with 1 home, already home in the inning for Danville, and the Jacob May leadoff solo homer. And a man at first on Nick Palmy. First pitch from Trimble. Fastball at the knees for strike 1. McReynolds' play at the plate has been down as of latest. From June 4th through June 19th, he had a 9-game hitting streak. Since then, he's just hitting .238. 5 for 21. The 0-1 pitch. In there, strike 2. Palmy faked like he was stealing second and quickly headed back to the bag. But nothing on 2 on the slugger McReynolds. McReynolds playing in his 4th game against the Bean Ballers here this evening. The 0-2. Palmy does take off for second. Curveball outside. The throw down from Reynolds, not in time. Palmy avoids the tag from Febriette as the throw took him to the first base side of second.
As Reynolds has all the arm strength in the world, it's just the throw to Febriette. It does take him where he's going. He's already moving in that direction, but by the time he snags it, can't swipe back in time to get Palmy before he slides in safely to the bag. Now, if you're Trimble, you got to make a good pitch to McReynolds and keep this at a 2-run lead.
Man in scoring position. 1-2 from Trimble. Swung over the top of a breaking ball, and McReynolds strikes out. Second strikeout for Nate Trimble, now 2 away in the Danville 3rd.
That's exactly what you needed. The amount of fastballs Trimble throws with his velocity, upper 80s, low 90s, it means when the breaking ball does come, especially when it's in a good location such as that where it just dips below the zone, it's hard to get a barrel on.
First pitch to Chase Bays. He pops it up. Right center field. Maldonado's over. And he's got it with one hand to make the grab and retire the side. Danville responds with a run in the inning on a solo homer from Jacob May. But we're through 3 here in the Central Division Showdown in the Eastern Conference of the Prospect League. And it's your Decatur Bean Ballers leading the Danville Dance 3-1 here on the official YouTube channel for the Decatur Bean Ballers. Colin Asbury's day is done for Decatur after just 3 innings as Jackson Frazier, is the first call to the Danville bullpen. Frazier comes in to this appearance with the Bean Ballers. The second best ERA on the Danville side. He's got a 1.69 ERA. This will be his 4th appearance across 10 and 2/3 innings. He's a high strikeout guy. 13 strikeouts across his almost 11 innings. And he'll look to give the Dans some length here as they trail by 2 runs.
Yeah, and for Asbury, that 3-run 3rd inning is going to do him in after the Bean Ballers sent 7 men to the plate. Didn't get too much help from his infield, which made its 2nd error of the game, but his day is done. And now with the bottom of the Decatur order due up in the top of the 4th, Frazier, the right-hander, is the man on the mound for Danville.
He's originally out of Dayton, Ohio, representing Lincoln Trail College here this summer in Danville, Illinois. He gets the 7, 8, 9 hitters here for the Bean Ballers, put up 3 runs last inning, trying to add to it. They have not scored more than 5 runs since their last win. Caleb Kreider leads off in the 4th. First pitch to him is high and tight for ball 1. Kreider struck out swinging his only at-bat against Colin Asbury. He's got 18 hits on the year, all singles. Still looking for that first extra base hit. 1-0 pitch, inside again, and it hits off the home plate umpire. 2 balls and no strikes, and we'll take some time as Cody Hawkins is down behind the plate.
Yeah, Hawkins looks quite a bit shaken up after that one. Crouching down, and now the trainer out to chat with him.
Last time out on the mound for Frazier was back on June the 25th. In an 8-7 win against Jackson, he went an inning and 2/3. Didn't allow any runs. Struck out 1 and 1 hit. But then you have to go all the way back to June the 2nd. He went 23 days between appearances. And he was very good against Champion City. 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, just gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. His first start of the year was against the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes May 27th. In a 10-4 victory, he went 4 innings, no hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts in that one against Springfield. He's only walked 5 guys across his 10 and 2/3 innings. Opponents just hitting .091. And that's something that all the Danville pitchers do well. Danville boasts the least amount of hits given up, just 200, and the best opponent batting average at 235. Well, they've given up 3 hits through 3 innings already. And for a Decatur team that's been struggling, a bit uncharacteristic from Danville's side.
This is something that you see a lot in baseball when there's a break in the action. Players sort of just form cliques and have chats with each other. Gabe Arroyo now talking with Nick Palmy and Caleb Kreider. Meanwhile, several Dan's players have formed. The outfielders having a chat with each other. Meanwhile, on the mound, Frazier chatting with his catcher, Basinger. And now Hawkins is back to his feet, which draws some applause from the crowd.
If anything for Danville, the way they've been pitching, only allowing 7.4 hits per game. That's right on par with what the Bean Ballers do at the plate. They average 7.7 hits over their first 27 games. And strictly looking at stats, if there's one thing that you can say, hey, Decatur does fairly well, and they don't strike out a lot. Just the 7th least amount of strikeouts at the plate in the Prospect League by these Bean Baller hitters. So they're putting the ball in play a lot. It just hasn't resulted in a lot of hits. 2nd least amount of hits. 4th worst batting average. But the bats came through last inning. It was a leadoff walk to Gage Reynolds. Brandon Abernathy singled. Chase Weiss had his first hit as a Decatur Bean Baller bunt hit. And then Jackson Snitko, Misael Maldonado, and Hampton Petska all drove in runs. Still checking out Cody Hawkins. Hair behind the plate after he took a foul ball off his arm. It's currently 87 degrees here in Danville. A 72% humidity with 8-mile-per-hour winds blowing straight out to center field. And one of the hottest games of the summer so far here in the Prospect Leagues. It's been blessed with beautiful weather. And it seems like Cody Hawkins is all right. We'll be able to stay in this game. That's a good sign to see from our home plate umpire.
That looked like wherever that ball caught him, upper arm area. Took him a while to, might have lost feeling in his arm for a little bit. Might have just been a stinger, but he's been shaking that arm around, and now he's back behind the plate. Basinger back behind the plate, and Kreider back up to bat. So we'll see what the stoppage does for Frazier, who's thrown just 2 pitches so far, but Kreider's got a nice 2-0 count, looking to start another big rally for the Bean Ballers.
Count is 2-0 Caleb Kreider. Jackson Frazier on the mound. He's back to work out of the windup. Right-hander fires. And off the hands, dribbled out towards second. Tough play for Nick Nelson. He underhand flips it to Saddam at first to retire Caleb Kreider for out number 1.
Yeah, nice play made by Nelson. It was something he sort of needed to rush on. He was running in all the way from the outfield grass to make the play, but he does a good job of taking just an extra split second to make sure his glove is on the ground, and he collects the ball. He had a ball go under his glove for an error earlier this game. Does a nice job to make the play for out number 1.
First pitch to Moises Febriette, breaking ball outside, 1-0.
Yeah, you see Frazier first pitch to Febriette. He greets him with what got him in his only at-bat so far. The slider away. Febriette doesn't chase it this time.
1-0 pitch. Fastball below the knees, 2-0. Febriette just 7 hits through 39 at-bats. It's a 179 batting average for the man making his 12th start. Hitters count 2-0, fastball low and away, 3 balls and no strikes. Now, if it's any consolation for Febriette, he's hit safely in back-to-back games. Heading the count 3-0. And fastball's in there for a strike, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, if you get another one of those, if you're Febriette, that's something you can definitely drive. Fastball right down Main Street.
Pitch outside, ball 4. Patient at bat from Moises Febriette, and he works a 1-out walk. His 5th of the season.
Yeah, solid at bat after we saw Febriette chase several pitches his first time up. Doesn't expand the zone, and he's happily taking a walk now on first base.
So now Gage Reynolds, who started the rally last inning against Colin Asbury, gets his first taste against Jackson Frazier. Frazier out of the stretch for the first time. Fires to Reynolds, who dribbles one on the ground to short palm. He has it. Underhand flips to Nelson for 1. Over to first in time for 2. 6-4-3 double play eliminates the 1-out walk, and Jackson Frazier faces the minimum in his first inning. We're through 3.5 innings here at Danville Stadium. Bean Ballers still lead the dance, 3-1. There we go in Danville, Illinois. 3-1, your Bean Ballers still lead the Dans. Nate Trimble back out for his 4th inning of work. Gave up a run last inning, but trying to throw up another 0 and keep this lead intact for the Bean Ballers. Again, can't stress it enough. Can't mention it enough. 8 straight losses for the Bean Ballers. They're already 0-3 to start this Prospect League second half. They're trying to climb themselves out of the hole and have an all-time comeback story in their first year as a franchise.
Yeah, this is exactly who you want on the mound for the Bean Ballers, as Trimble has done a nice job, gotten some help from his defense. Only 1 hit so far, has given up 2 walks and a hit by pitch, so he's dealt with some foot traffic, but done well to keep, for the most part, keep the Dans off the base paths and strand them when they are on the base paths. And again, his defense has been superb so far to start this game here at Danville Stadium.
6-7-8 up for the Dans. First pitch is high and away on the fastball to Jeremy Rona, the Aurora, Illinois native, representing College of San Mateo. He struck out looking his first time up. Trimble deals inside on the lefty, backs him off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Rona hit 336 games this past spring at San Mateo. 2-0 fastball outside. So quickly 3 balls and no strikes to the leadoff hitter for the Dans in the 4th. Trimble's already walked 2. Now 17 walks on the season for the righty. He deals on 3 out. Taking all the way was Rona for strike. Rona's played in 79 games over the past 2 years at San Mateo. Fastball handcuffs him, and he fouls it straight back into the netting. Full count now to start the Danville half of the 4th. Rona had 52 hits, including 9 doubles this past spring. He also drove in 20 runs. Payoff pitch in the dirt, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Jeremy Rona in his first game with Danville.
Yeah, good job from Trimble to get back in the count, but that's something we've seen a little bit more today than we're used to when it comes to Nate Trimble. He's been behind in counts several times, and he does work his way back to full, but can't find the zone on 3 straight pitches and gives up his 3rd walk of the day.
J.J. Basinger 0 for 1 against Trimble. First pitch to him. He rattles it off the dugout of Danville down the 3rd base line. Basinger flying out to left. Back in the 2nd. Has just 13 hits, but one of those hits was a home run. Came back on June the 25th against the Jackson Rockabillys. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball inside, 1-1. Basinger's hit safely now in 3 straight games, trying to make it 4 as he was 1 for 5 on Sunday in a loss to the O'Fallon Hoots. Pitch from Trimble, grounded foul outside of 3rd again, and Basinger's in a 1-2 hole.
And there have been a few times Trimble tries to ambush him inside, and now Basinger all over these pitches. They're just a little too far out in front, a little too jumpy at the plate, and he's fouled both of them off.
1-2 pitch from Trimble. Breaking ball backs Basinger off the plate. Count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Danville catcher. With the Dans trailing by 2 runs here in their half of the 4th. 2-2. Breaking ball outside, taking off for second is Rona, but no throw as Gage Reynolds lost the ball. And so it's the first career stolen base for Jeremy Rona, and he moves into scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, Rona gets a good jump. This is a breaking ball that just misses away, and Reynolds coming out of his crouch to try and throw him out. Can't come up with it cleanly. Luckily, it doesn't squirt too far behind him. But now another full count for Trimble.
Back-to-back full counts to start the 4th. Payoff pitch. Basinger lines one down the left field line, but it floats foul. So the 2 will do it again.
Yeah, this is another pitch right in on the hands for Basinger, but he doesn't quite get the barrel around to it and put it foul. He does put it foul, but gets jammed right in on the hands, and it's just a little flare, and it floats foul.
7th pitch of the at-bat, fastball just below the knees. And it's back-to-back walks issued by Nate Trimble. And the Dans are in business here in the 4th.
Yeah, Trimble, back-to-back walks. We talked about walks not necessarily being an issue, but they've been an issue for him today. And that'll warrant a visit from John Toney.
It's now 4 of them. Still 1 away from his season high back on June the 18th against Terre Haute when he had 5. One of the reasons why we haven't seen Nate Trimble go deep in ball games is because of that pitch count. His longest outing of the season was against the Du Bois County Bombers. He went 5 1/3, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, tied his career high with 7 strikeouts, and only walked 2 hitters in that game. Now the tying run is aboard here for Danville. It'll be Nicholas Saddam at the plate. With still nobody out in the inning. Saddam drew the first of now 4 walks from Trimble. And he'll look to try to induce a double play ball. On the opposite side of the spectrum from Decatur, Danville's only grounded into 4 this whole season as a team.
Yeah, before the losing streak, the run-scoring opportunities were not few and far between for the Bean Ballers. It seemed like they had runners on base a lot. It's just the double plays that really plagued them.
Mound is it done. First pitch from Trimble. Breaking ball inside. 1-0. And it seems like that's the pitch that's gotten away from him. Has not had control of the curveball here these last couple of innings. He's missed on another first pitch to Nicholas Saddam. 1-0. Chopped on the ground to short. Febriette has it. Underhand flips to Weiss for 1. Over to first. In time for 2. A little 6-4-3 double play. 2 outs for the price of 1. And Nate Trimble's got a huge smile on his face up there on the mound.
Yeah, double play. Pitcher's best friend. A nice job by Febriette. This is a really tough field for the infielders. Gets a few weird hops on its way to him, but fields it cleanly, flips to Weiss, and the toss across the diamond just in time.
So now Nick Nelson takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. He now comes to the plate with just a runner on third and now 2 outs in the Danville 4th. Nelson, a DeKalb, Illinois native. Another fastball inside corner this time. Paints it perfectly. 0-2.
And Nelson doesn't like that call, but Trimble put it very close to the zone, if not in there. So
the 0-2 pitch. Fastball's popped up. Third base side. Caleb Kreider. It's playable for him. And in foul territory, he makes the grab. So a promising start to the Danville 4th is erased on a double play. And smiles all around for the boys from Decatur. They take a 3-1 lead headed to the 4th. Or excuse me, headed to the 5th here on your official YouTube channel for your Decatur Bean Ballers.
Top of the 5th inning here at Danville Stadium. The Decatur Bean Ballers looking for their first win since June the 18th. And the last day of June, lead the Danville Dans 3-1 through 4 innings. Top of the order due up for the Bean Ballers: Brandon Abernathy, Chase Weiss, and Jackson Snitko. Meanwhile, Jackson Frazier on for his second inning of work, faced the minimum his first inning after a one-out walk to Moises Febriette was erased on a 6-4-3 double play, but the Bean Ballers turned a 6-4-3 double play of their own and got out of the 4th unscathed after a pair of free passes were handed out by Nate Trimble. But nonetheless, Decatur still lead 3-1. Brandon Abernathy to the plate. First pitch he sees is a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1.
Yeah, that's part of the lineup that has really excelled tonight. This top of the lineup, those are the runs that they scored in that third. But as we've also seen during this losing streak, it's really been only one inning Bean Ballers have scored. Can they score in multiple?
The 0-1, Abernathy takes a breaking ball away. Count now even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, you said it, Truman. It's been a lot of games where the Bean Ballers only plate runs in 1 inning, and there have been a few times where that 1 inning is the 9th inning. Decatur can only find runs late in games and not quite able to dig themselves out of holes as a breaking ball is fouled off by Abernathy. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count to the Bean Ballers left fielder. But it was a 3-run third for Decatur, which started with 9-1-2. Reynolds walked, Abernathy singled. Chase Weiss had an infield bunt single for his first hit with the Bean Ballers. So that's how they got it started, just getting runners on base early on in the inning. Recipe for success. 1-2 misses downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count to Abernathy, who's been signaling something, a hand gesture back to his dugout now a few times. And 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Abernathy, who's 1 for 2 with a single back in the third and a run score. The 2-2. Abernathy takes low and away.
Hey, signaling fastball or spin, because only 3 guys have seen Frazier, so he's trying to give his top of the lineup a chance. Hey, that pitch was spinning away from you, especially a lot of right-handed hitter. That pitch is spinning away. That pitch was flat, that fastball.
Frazier from the windup. Payoff pitch. Abernathy takes a fastball at the knees for strike 3. He knew it too. For Frazier, it's his first punch-out of the day for the Bean Ballers. The 4th time one of their hitters is down on strikes, and there's 1 away here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, just tough. It was a good at-bat from Abernathy, and then he's not sure right there. I guess maybe sitting breaking ball again, but it's the fastball blown by him. That's why I like, again, sit fastball, adjust the off-speed. If you sit the breaking ball, you're going to be tardy on the fastball if you realize it's a strike.
So now to the plate is Chase Weiss. Takes a fastball away for ball 1. Weiss today also 1 for 2, grounded out to short just like Abernathy did back in the first. But a bunt single back to the mound his next time up. The 1-0. Weiss takes a breaking ball outside. Quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Looking for his first non-bunt single. They check to the field umpire, but Ethan Watkins said that Weiss, in fact, did not go around, so it is a 2-0 count. Frazier back to work from the windup. The 2-0. Weiss fouls back into the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Weiss on the board. It says his name is Manuel Toro. That's because he's wearing Manuel Toro's number 35. Toro will not pitch today for the Bean Ballers. The 2-1. Catches the outside corner, and the count now evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Weiss. Frazier back to work. The 2-2. Weiss takes a breaking ball cold. Strike 3 on the outside corner. The first 2 Bean Ballers called out on strikes. And now there's 2 away here in the top of the 5th.
That's just right there. I think a couple of at-bats that uncharacteristic. I felt like the Bean Ballers really came out swinging against Asbury, but now that Frazier's in the game, they've let him dictate the pace. Get back to that aggressive mindset. Not taking so many pitches, not wasting so many takes, and ultimately striking out looking. That's one of the worst things you can do in baseball.
Breaking ball, first pitch hammered by Jackson Snitko, but right at the first baseman, Nicholas Saddam. to make the catch for out number 3. So the Bean Ballers go 1, 2, 3. A pair of punch-outs for Frazier in the inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-1. Decatur leads. You're listening to the official YouTube channel of the Decatur Bean Ballers. Start of the bottom of the 5th here at Danville Stadium. Nate Trimble to the mound for his 5th inning of work. And the 3rd time through the order as he's set to face the top of the order. Jacob May, Will Burke, and Nick Palmy due up for the Dans. All the runs scored so far today, all 4 of them were plated in the 3rd inning. Decatur got all 3 in the top of the 3rd, and the guy leading off, Jacob May, solo home run off of Trimble to right center, is the 1 run on the board in the bottom of the 3rd for Danville. He's stepping up to the plate for his 3rd time against Trimble. Grounded out his 1st time solo home run, his 2nd time. Digs in to the left-handed batter's box, hitting from the left side against the righty Trimble. The first pitch from Trimble. Fastball catches the inside corner. Strike 1 to May at the knees.
That's the first time he's gotten ahead of May first pitch. He just hung a pitch in the middle of the zone the last time up. Got to stay to the edges.
The 0-1 from Trimble. Fastball grounded to first, and it gets through for a base hit. Maldonado picks it up in right field. It was just past the diving attempt by Hampton Potska, but it's into right field, and May is on base for the 2nd time.
That ball was scorched off the bat of May. A high chopper. I thought Petsko would get there, but just out of the reach of his glove. I mean, it's tough because his glove's on his left hand, so he had to reach across his body.
Next pitch to Will Burke. First pitch upstairs, ball 1. 1-0 now the count to the Dans All-Star. And it's just the 3rd hit of the day, 2nd for May against Trimble. The 1-0 to Burke. Crunches this one deep to left field. Abernathy watches it, and it's out of here. All-Star on All-Star, and Will Burke wins this battle. His first long ball of the season. And the ball game is all tied up at 3.
Yeah, it's a pitch in the middle of the zone. Again, another breaking ball that Trimble has struggled to command tonight, and that one is just middle, and that's an easy swing for Will Burke, and this ball has been flying out of here tonight. Saw it in batting practice, and now right there, I mean, just ripped down the corner. And now this game is all tied, 3 apiece.
Yeah, Trimble came into today with only 1 home run given up on the season. He's tripled that total today. First pitch to Nick Palmy, lined into center field for a base hit. So 3rd time through the order, the Dans are jumping on Nate Trimble. First 3 hitters reach on base hits, and they've already tied the game. Now a runner on first, nobody out. Mason McReynolds to the plate.
The DH, Mason McReynolds.
McReynolds today 1 for 2. The first hit of the day for the Dans to lead off the 2nd, then struck out against Trimble back in the 3rd. Takes the first pitch, low and in for ball 1.
And Trimble needs to settle down right now on the mound. stay low in the zone. He's getting a little elevated, and while the Dans are celebrating, they're turning and burning, but got to weather the storm right here. McReynolds is an important out.
The 1-0. Strike on a fastball on the outside edge to McReynolds, who then calls time, steps out of the batter's box, and now back in. But for the Bean Ballers, corner infielders plugging the lines. Meanwhile, the infielders, the middle infielders, playing up the middle. Kreider just a few steps off of the left field foul line. Petska holding on Palmy at first. Meanwhile, Weiss and Moises Febriette plugging the middle at double play depth. 2-1 to McReynolds. A strike on the outside corner. Meanwhile, Gage Reynolds behind the plate thought about checking on Palmy at first. Decides not to. But the count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes to McReynolds. Trimble deals. McReynolds grounds it up past a diving Febriette and into center field. Palmy a big turn around second, but comes back just in time as Novominski had trouble fielding it cleanly. But now 4 straight base hits, and the Dans have 2 runners aboard, already 2 in the inning, and still nobody out. Chase Bays now to the plate.
Yeah, I think right there, Febriette thought that ball was going to die a little bit, but it hit the grass and just skipped on by him. If he gets in front of that ball, that's an easy double play, but he hesitated and waited for it, didn't get his body in front of it, and it got under his glove, and well, that'll do it for Nate Trimble. Thought he could get through 5, but the top of this Danville order really blasted him, but old reliable Caden Davis now out of the bullpen.
Yeah, 4 innings plus is all it is for Nate Trimble. He is responsible with both runners still on base as the first pitching change for the Bean Ballers today. Lefty Caden Davis now into the game for Gabe Arroyo. We've got a pitching change here at Danville Stadium. We'll be right back. All tied up at 3 between the Danville Dans and the Decatur Bean Ballers. Caden Davis, the new lefty on the mound for the Decatur Bean Ballers. He relieves the All-Star Nate Trimble after Trimble went 4 innings, pitched into the 5th. We're here in the bottom of the 5th, all tied at 3, but since he got into the 5th, the 3rd time through the order was not as kind as the first 2. Trimble gave up 4 straight hits, yet to get an out, and Davis inherits 2 runners as Danville looks to take the lead. Chase Bays, the 3rd baseman, to the plate, 0 for 1 today with a flyout and a hit by pitch. First batter to face Davis, shows bunt, pulls it back, and now they've got Palmy in a rundown. Reynolds tosses it to Febriette, to Kreider. They tag Palmy out, and there's a big out, number 1, as McReynolds stays to first. A nice throw from Reynolds down to Febriette, who chased Palmy to Kreider, and Palmy couldn't get traction. Kreider tagged him out as he was slipping in between second and third. Now 1 out. It was a ball to base, so 1-0 the count. Davis staring down McReynolds. The 1-0 home. Misses upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes now the count to Bays.
Well, that's why it's important as a runner. You got to see the bunt down. Palmy was anticipating that bunt was already down. That's an easy play for an experienced guy like Reynolds. That's just a back pick.
Next pitch from Davis. Misses, and it's a 3-0 count for Bays. So while Davis gets some help from his defense, struggling to find the zone to start things off. He comes in 13 1/3 innings, a 2.02 ERA, but the walks are the issue. 12 walks and just 12 strikeouts. The 3-0 misses upstairs. Bays hesitated for a little bit, but now tosses the bat aside. And it's a 4-pitch walk to start things off for Caden Davis. Bays now aboard, McReynolds to second, and Jeremy Rona to the plate.
Well, that's why they say it's so important that you can't make the first or third out on the base paths. You can't make the out at third on the base paths, and this could be bases loaded, nobody out. Instead, it's first and second, 1 out.
Jeremy Rona to the plate. Takes ball that gets in between the legs of Reynolds and goes all the way back to the backstop. Runners both move up 90 feet now at second and third. 1-0 now the count to Rona, and the first 5 pitches from Caden Davis have all missed the zone.
And I'm not sure if it's the mound. He's not finding his footing, but infield will be drawn in now for Decatur, and no double play. Really feel like you got to go for the strikeout.
So now 1-0 the count to Rona, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. The 1-0, Rona takes away. 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0. Rona swings and fouls it off to the left. Kreider gives chase, but it lands in the Dan's dugout. As the players retreat in every which way to move out of the way of that ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now the count to Rona. Petska in at first. The 2-1 misses away. And Rona has a nice 3-1 count at the plate. This is someone that, if you're Caden Davis, you should attack. You got a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Don't want to let it go to waste. The 3-1. Rona swings away, pops it up on the infield. Kreider right on the foul line, moves in, reaches back, and makes the catch. A nice adjustment by Caleb Kreider on a pop-up on the infield. Took an interesting path. Had to run around McReynolds at third base. Finally ranged in, reached back, and made the catch for out number 2.
Well, I think it got him into this jet stream, and the wind was just having fun with it. But good job for Kreider. He tracked it all the way. He makes the grab and gets the out. At the end of the day, it's the important thing.
And a good job for Davis getting the out on a 3-1 pitch. Misses upstairs to J.J. Basinger on the first pitch. For the Dan's catcher today, 0 for 1, has reached once on a walk last inning. Was cut down on a 6-4-3 double play. The 1-0. Basinger swings away and fouls it back into the netting. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Dans plated 2 runs this inning so far on a Wilburg 2-run home run. They have runners on second and third. The 1-1. Grounded left side. Fabriette takes it in the hole. Toss across the diamond is in time. So the Dans get 2 runs on a Wilburg 2-run home run. But the Bean Ballers strand runners on second and third. We go to the 6th inning, all knotted up at 3 between the Dans and Bean Ballers.
Top of the sixth here from Danville Stadium in the Central Division Showdown here in the Prospect League. 3-3, Bean Ballers and Dans, as the Dans got 2 runs on a 2-run home run off the bat of their all-star Will Burke to tie this game in the bottom of the 5th. So now it's a brand new ball game, but middle of the order due up for Decatur after Moises Febriette flashed the leather deep in the hole at short. He bounced off his third baseman Caleb Kreider, and he made the play to save a run and end the inning last inning. But now the Ballers are back to the plate, where so far Jackson Frazier has had their number. 6 up, 6 down, and he's made the Bean Ballers bats look very timid.
Yeah, the Bean Ballers, the reason they're still tied in this game and not trailing is because of the defense that has been firing on all cylinders. But Truman, we've talked about it during the losing streak. There are several games now, pretty much every game it seems the Bean Ballers can plate runs in one inning, but it's really hard to find runs aboard outside of that one inning, and Decatur hasn't plated any runs since the 3-run third.
Misael Maldonado leads off. First pitch to him is a fastball inside for ball 1. You make that point because over the weekend against Jackson, in the first game of the doubleheader Saturday, it was 4-3. Bean Ballers scored 3 runs all in one inning, but then it was also a big inning that they have allowed. It's the 1-0, breaking ball outside, 2-0. As in that game, that would eventually be an 11-3 loss. You had a 4-run 6th, or 8-3 loss, excuse me, a 4-run 6th. 2-0 Maldonado, fastball way outside. 3 balls, no strikes. And then you followed up an 11-1 loss. It was a 5-run 4th for the Rockabillys that really did the Bean Ballers in. They only scored in 1 inning. And then you go to Sunday. It was a 7-run 5th that doomed the Bean Ballers in that 8-4 loss. 3-0 fastball taken all the way from Maldonado, 3-1. So while the Bean Ballers have failed to score in multiple innings over this losing streak, they've also allowed massive innings to their opponent. Maldonado still in the driver's seat. 3-1 from Frazier. Chopped up the middle. Palmy to his left. He's got it and throws it across to get Maldonado by a couple of steps for the first out.
Now this is a 3-1 pitch. Good location to get Maldonado to just chop it into the ground. Gives a nice hop right up to Palmy. An easy play, toss across the diamond in time for out number 1.
Hampton Petska drove in his first RBI as a Bean Baller back in the 3rd on a sacrifice fly. Digs in for the first time against Frazier. Takes a fastball in there for strike 1 at the knees. Petska played in 25 games this past spring at Sauk Valley Community College. He'll be heading back there next year for his sophomore season. Pitch. Handcuffed him, and he swings and fouls it off. So in the hole, 0-2. He had just 13 hits, though, in those 25 games. 60 at-bats, 1 double, 1 triple, and 1 long ball to complete the trifecta. The pitch. Fastball outside, 1-2. Hit just .217 with 8 RBIs and 10 walks. Now joins the Bean Ballers here for presumably the second half of this season. Breaking ball laid off, 2-2. Trying to provide some much-needed gasoline to this motor that has started to sputter for the Bean Ballers offense. 2-2 pitch from Frazier. Another breaking ball. And again, Petska spits on it. Full count. Three and 2 with Matthew Novominski on deck. Frazier out of the line. The payoff pitch. Fastball fouled off. Petska stays alive.
Yeah, that 0-1 pitch to Petska I do think would have been ball 1, but he does a good job. This pitch is fastball, plenty of heat on it, just fights it off and lives to fight another day.
7th pitch of the at-bat. Frazier delivers. Fastball's fouled off. So the right-handed hitting slugger, Hampton Petska, giving Jackson Frazier all he can handle. With 1 out here in the top of the 6th for Decatur. Long look from Frazier. Another 3-2. Breaking ball. Did he go? He did. Wow. Ethan Watkins rings up Petska. And the 8-pitch battle goes the way of Frazier. And it's his third strikeout and 2 outs in the 6th.
Yeah, certainly a very frustrating call if you're Petska. He had already tossed his bat, was trotting halfway down the first base line, whether he was just trying to play it off or whether he actually felt he didn't go around. Nonetheless, Watkins rings him up.
Matthew Novominski takes a fastball on the inside at the belt for strike 1. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. Has 11 hits here in the month of June. The changeup's low, 1-1. The pitch from Frazier. Fastball sizzles in there at the knees. Now a ball and 2 strikes on the Bean Ballers center fielder.
Yeah, you've talked about it, Truman. The Bean Ballers, there have been times where they're a little too patient, taking a few too many pitches, and you end up in a count like Novominski has right here in the hole 1-2.
The 1-2 lays off a fastball low, 2-2. It's almost like reverse. It's like the Bean Ballers swing early against the starter to get him out of the game, but then once a bullpen arm comes in, they're very timid and passive, and that allows and gives those guys in the bullpen more confidence. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 6th. Frazier delivers. Dribbled out to the mound. Frazier gobbles it up, and he underhand flips it to Saddam at first to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down, retired in order by Jackson Frazier. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. It's still a 3-3 ball game here, Dan's and Bean Ballers. Caden Davis got all 3 outs in the 5th after coming on with 2 men on and nobody out. Didn't allow any runs to score, and now he gets a clean inning. Here in the 6th, they'll face Nicholas Saddam, Nick Nelson, and the top of the lineup in Jacob May. 8-9-1 for the Dans in their half of the 6th. We're trying to take their first lead of the night. They trailed 3-0 after the top of the 3rd. They trailed 3-1 after 3 full innings and finally tied it up on Will Burke's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, for Davis, he did a nice job. Got plenty of help from his defense. A nice pick-off, back pick from Reynolds to get Palmy into a rundown and for out number 1 to start things off. And then got a nice 3-1 pop-out from Jeremy Rona and a nice play from Moises Fabriette to end the inning on a ground ball that took him right into the third baseman, Caleb Kreider, but still made a strong throw across the diamond. And now you've got 8-9-1 due up if you're Davis, and what you want to do here is face as little of the top of the order as you can.
Saddam reached on a walk in the 2nd and grounded into a double play in the 4th. First time facing Davis, and the first pitch to him. Outside corner for strike 1 to the right-handed hitting Saddam. Making his Danville Dans debut. Played in just 6 games this past spring at Lincoln Trail. Fastball's off the plate, 1-1. He had just 1 hit and 15 at-bats. Did also drive in 2 runs, though. Had 4 walks and stole a pair of bases. 1-1's fouled off straight back into the chain link fence. 1-2. It's a unique setup, not a padded backstop. It's a chain link fence that wraps around this whole field till you get to the outfield walls. 330 down each corner, 407 to dead center field here at Danville Stadium. 1-2 from Davis. Breaking ball just up. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm shocked that the bullpens are not on the field. You'd think that a stadium that's celebrating its 80th birthday anniversary, bullpens are out of play. 2-2. Fouled off down the right field line. And Saddam stays alive.
Yeah, and for Davis, walks have been an issue, but sometimes it's because of this, where you get into situations where your velocity can't quite get the punch out. You just work long at bats.
Another foul ball off the bat of Saddam. So a long at bat here to start the Dan's half of the 6th. Team that has a collective hitting .247, but they've got 3 runs on 6 hits, including a couple of homers tonight. Davis out of the stretch. Another 2-2. In the dirt. Full count. Dan's also added to their team home run total, now 17. Bashed as a team. Came in averaging just under 6 runs per game. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Blew the cheddar by him. And Saddam's down on strikes.
Yeah, this is a fastball from Davis, and he doesn't have a ton on it, usually mid to upper 70s. But because he had just thrown a big loopy breaking ball, which is mid to low 60s, the speed change is enough to get by Saddam and get a big out, number 1. Now you got a lefty-lefty matchup with Nelson.
First pitch to Nelson, drops in at the knees for strike 1. He's 0 for 2 tonight, but the first time facing the lefty Davis. Played in 15 games this past spring at Parkland College, made 7 starts. The 0-1, big loopy curveball, looked at for strike 2. You have to wonder if the batters are just admiring that thing floating in the air. They forget to swing. You forget sometimes that, hey, you're playing baseball, you got to swing.
Yeah, well, also with all the movement it has, just 90% of the time in the air, it's a ball.
Fastball's fouled straight back out and out of the stadium. Nelson, this is just his 2nd game versus Decatur. He made his season debut in what ultimately was a Bean Ballers 3-2 victory. He went 1 for 1 with 3 walks drawn. Another 0-2. Hits him. So Nick Nelson's on. Davis loses him on 0-2. And it gives the Dans a 1-out base runner.
Just brutal if you're Davis. You miss arm side, it runs in on Nelson, and you give up a base runner who you had down 0-2, and now you're going to have to face, unless you can somehow get May to ground into a double play, you're going to have to face at least Burke, if not Palmy, to start this top of the order.
And those 3 are all dangerous. May is 2 for 3 tonight with a booming solo homer, and he scored a couple of runs. He's now got 5 hits on the season. 3 of them have gone for extra bases. Another left on left. First pitch to him. He fouls it down the left field line and out of play. It's also May's 2nd multi-hit game of the summer. He made his season debut Saturday in Burlington, went 2 for 5 with a double and an RBI, and then he hit a home run and drove in 4 in the loss on Sunday against O'Fallon. 0-1 pitch, fastball on the outside corner. 0-2 to Jacob May.
If you're going to miss here, miss low.
He misses away, but it was low. Ball and 2 strikes. It's where Nate Trimble got in trouble. He gave up 3 runs on 6 hits across his 4+ innings. But it was the pitches up that the Dans turned and burned on. Lefty Davis 1-2. Outside, throw back to first. Petska not able to handle it, but keeps it in front of him. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with a man at first and 1 out in the 6th for Danville.
It didn't seem like A terrible pitch from Davis. Might have caught the corner if Reynolds was holding it there. Instead, he tries a back pick to no avail.
The 2-2. Big loopy curveball freezes May and strikes him out. And he'll trot back to the dugout thinking about how long that ball was in the air that he was admiring it.
Yeah, you talked about it, Truman. This one just hangs up there. It keeps moving, and eventually catches the top inside corner. This is so far inside starting out that May thinks it's going to hit him, and he sticks out his elbow. It drops below that, and it's in there for strike 3.
The 2 outs now in the inning. Will Burke up. Burke hit a homer his last time up down the left field line. He pops it up on the infield. Who sees it? I don't think anyone sees it. And it drops fair. Going first to third is Nick Nelson, as none of the Bean Ballers' 4 infielders, including Davis and catcher Gage Reynolds, ever saw that infield pop up.
Yeah, this is just hanging up there, and it was up there for so long that Davis and Reynolds actually looked at each other during the flight, and neither of them had a good read on it. None of the 4 infielders had a good read on it, and ends up landing while everyone is still looking up. And because of it, Nelson goes first to third, and now if you're Davis, you got to deal with runners at the corners instead of getting out number 3 there.
Faces the switch hitting Nick Palmiel's flip around bat from the right side, and he lines the first pitch into the alleyway in right center field. All the way to the wall. Will Burke is already around third, and heading into third with yet another triple is Nick Palmy. A 2-run triple, and it's 5-3 Dans.
Yeah, if you're Davis, this is just a gut check. You think you have out number 3 on a pop-up that just nobody can pick up, and because of it, just the next batter, Palmy absolutely jumps on something, lines it into right center, and with his speed, he's into third with his 8th triple of the year, and he's untied this game, giving the Dans the first lead today.
First pitch to Mason McReynolds is below the zone, 1-0. It's Palmy's Prospect League leading 8th triple and his team leading 21st and 22nd RBIs. He's now got 8 multi-hit games this summer. 1-0 to McReynolds, in there for a strike. McReynolds himself already has 2 hits tonight. Both singles. It was his 8th multi-hit game when he got it back in the 5th. Pitch from Davis. Outside. 2-1. Ball got up into the twilight above the lights here at Danville Stadium. On a pop-up from Will Burke. Eventually leads to a 2-run triple from Nick Palmy. The 2-1. Curveball drops in there, 2-2. Davis now trying to retire the side. Keep this deficit right where it is. First time the Dans have led tonight, and it's back-to-back innings. They've put up 2 runs. Now 5 unanswered runs. 2-2. Another curveball lined into right field, and it's down in front of Maldonado. Palmy trots home the 3rd run of the inning, and the Dans have now doubled up Decatur 6-3.
Yeah, this pitch from Davis just catches too much of the plate. Right over the middle of it. Maybe a little below that, but McReynolds goes down to a knee and gets every bit of it. And a lefty-lefty base hit, and another run comes home to score.
12th RBI for McReynolds on his 28th hit. Fastball upstairs to Chase Bays. He's reached base twice on a walk and a hit by pitch. No hits yet for Bays. The Edwardsburg, Mississippi native. Swings, pops one up. Back behind home plate, but this one's going to escape out of play. Home crowd has come to life here behind their dance. 1-1. Curveball stayed up, finished up. 2-1. Davis delivers. Cut on and missed. From Chase Bayes. Count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's 3 straight hits from Danville have brought home all 3 runs. They still have a man aboard with 2 outs here in the 6th. The 2-2. Fastball popped up again on the infield. Over to the right side, Weiss and Petska, and it's Weiss who will make the grab, squeezing it with 2 hands to retire the side, but not before the Danville Dans. 3 runs on 3 hits, a man left. Bean Ballers are headed to the final back third of this game. They now trail for the first time tonight, 6-3, here on the official YouTube channel for your Decatur Bean Ballers. Top of the 7th. Your Bean Ballers trail for the first time tonight, now 6-3. And they continue to face Jackson Frazier on the mound, who he has faced the minimum through his 3 innings out of the bullpen. His only blemish, a walk to Moises Febriette. But the Dans have put up 5 runs on 7 hits over the last 2 innings to take a 6-3 lead and have scored 6 unanswered runs. And so now, what seemed like a promising start, the Bean Ballers are going to need to come up with any magic if they have any of it in their pockets to avoid their 9th straight loss.
Yeah, Truman, you mentioned it. Insult to injury, not only do you give up 3 runs, but the last hit for the Bean Ballers is all the way back. It's a bunt single from Chase Weiss in the 3rd inning. And since then, the Bean Ballers have a walk from Febriette, but base runners have been few and far between since then for the Bean Ballers. And the bats have really gone quiet.
Pitch from Frazier in there for a strike to Caleb Kreider. 0 for 2 tonight, 7-8-9 for Decatur here in the 7th. Kreider, Febriette, and Reynolds. The 0-1 pitch. Cut on and miss from Kreider, 0-2. Kreider's hit safely in 4 straight games. 0 for 2 so far tonight. 1 for 7 in 2 games versus Danville as the fastball is up.
Yeah, Kreider might have gotten lucky with that last pitch. It looked maybe just above the zone, if not clipping it. Gifted a lifeline. We'll see if he can take advantage of it.
Frazier out of the line. The 1-2. Breaking ball slashed to the right side, but foul outside of first. Count remains the same, a ball and 2 strikes. Kreider struggled on the road here in Prospect League action. Now just 5 for 25 outside of Workman Family Baseball Field, compared to almost hitting 300 at home. Another 1-2. Breaking ball low and away, laid off. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and if you're the Bean Ballers, your track record has a major lack of success against this Dan's bullpen, so you really got to get something stirring quickly.
2-2. Sent back to the dugout. Fastball blows by him. Kreider's down on strikes looking. It's the 4th strikeout for Jackson Frazier out of the bullpen tonight.
And Kreider had seen a ton of fastballs. That at bat might have finally been expecting something else, and instead it's just a fastball right down Main Street at the knees. And there's one away now for Fabriette.
First pitch to Fabriette's in there for a strike. He's the only man to reach against Jackson Frazier. It was a one-out walk in the fourth, and then Gage Reynolds rolled into a double play. The 0-1. Fastball softly hit up the middle. Long run, Palmy, and a bad hop. He boots it, so Fabriette will reach with one out here in the seventh. We'll see what they score that ground ball off the bat of Moises Fabriette.
Yeah, this is just, and it will be an error for Palmy. A tough ruling as it just hits this lip right at the edge of the grass before it meets the infield dirt, eats him up, and Fabriette's aboard. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter if you're the Bean Ballers, whether that's ruled as a hit or an error. You've got a runner aboard, and now you have to take advantage of it.
You get Frazier out of the windup. He's back into the stretch. Got Gage Reynolds to ground into a double play. First time these two duel. That fastball's out the knees for strike one. Reynolds reached on a walk back in the third against the starter Colin Asbury and eventually came around to score. Bean Ballers have not scored since that third inning. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Ballers are down to their final 8 outs. And they need at least 3 runs. They need 3 runs to tie and at least 4 to take the lead. Or else they risk dropping their 9th straight game. The 0-2. Fastball is low.
Yeah, it hasn't been a clean day, to say the least, for the Dans. They're a team that Danville comes in third from last in the Prospect League in fielding percentage. Already 3 errors today, but Decatur still down by 3.
Fabriette takes off to second. Reynolds strikes out. Fabriette will be safe. That's second, but they're now 2 outs in the inning. Second strikeout of the inning. As Frazier gets Reynolds to chase the slider away.
Yeah, not sure if Reynolds was just trying to cover Fabriette with this swing, or he truly had just gone too far on the slider, but he swings and misses. It does sort of work in the Bean Ballers' favor in that Fabriette, it forces a tough throw from Basinger, and Fabriette slides in safely, but you do have a runner in scoring position, but now they're 2 away.
Top of the lineup, Brandon Abernathy, 1 for 3 tonight. The pitch. Fastball in tight, ball 1. Just a good pitch from Frazier to Reynolds, chased the slider away. Dan scored all 3 runs in the 6th with 2 outs. The Bean Ballers have any 2-out magic. Fastball away to Abernathy. 1-1. Or excuse me, 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0, expect something to hit and try to put it to either side. Palmy and Nelson both playing pretty jammed towards the middle.
2-0. Fastball, bottom of the zone for strike 1.
And if you're Abernathy, that was probably your pitch to hit. It is sort of at the knees, but he's not a big guy, just 5'9". That was a fastball. It was at the knees, but it was right down the pipe. That was something you had to drive.
Pitch from Frazier. Fastball handcuffed him, dribbled back to Frazier. The pitcher's got it, flips it over, and Saddam's not able to dig it out. Second error of the inning. And it puts runners at the corners, and the Bean Ballers have some life here in the 7th.
Yeah, this is a tough play for Frazier. It puts him just a little bit towards third base, and as he plants, he sort of slips, which causes the ball to flip out. He still has plenty of time if he makes a good throw, but after the first miscue, the throw to first does not put much on it, and it skips in there, and Saddam can't quite come up with it. So now you have runners at the corners in the second error of the inning for the Dans. Bean Ballers need to take advantage of it.
Chase Weiss now up. First pitch from Frazier. Upstairs, the back pick to first! Thrown over the head of Saddam! Wow! Abernathy's going to head for third. He'll be in there safely. But 3 errors in the inning from Danville, and it's now 6-4 as the Dans are just throwing the ball around the yard here in the 7th.
Yeah, it's just been a comedy of errors now. The Dans came into this inning already with a pair of them, and now 3 errors in the inning for Danville. It's the only reason the Bean Ballers have had runs. It's the only reason they've had runners on base. Now you got to take advantage if you're Decatur.
1-0's the count to Weiss. Frazier back into the windup. And Frazier slices one to third, and it's going to be caught in the air by Chase Bays to retire the side. But the Bean Ballers benefits from some bad defense from Danville. They played a run on 3 errors. They still trail by 2 as it's time to stretch here at Danville Stadium. 6-4 Dans. We've stretched here in Danville, and the Ballers cut the lead to 2 on a comedy of errors by the Danville defense. 4 runs on 3 hits, no errors for Decatur. 6 runs on 9 hits, and 5, count them, 5 errors, including 3, all on the top of the 7th on the Dans, but they still lead by 2, and they'll face a new pitcher here in the bottom of the 7th. Daniel Ruiz takes over for Kane Davis, who gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, including striking out a pair across his 2 innings. Ruiz brings a 3.38 ERA across 13 1/3 innings. He's 0-1 on the season, his 9th appearance. He's got 9 strikeouts to 5 walks, but he gave up a run on a hit in an inning yesterday against Sunday against Jackson. He ended up taking the loss, and, well, the big number, he walked 3 guys. Season high in walks. He's trying to limit those as he gets the 6, 7, 8 hitters, starting with Jeremy Rona. First pitch from Ruiz, upstairs, ball 1 to Rona to start the Danville 7th. He's 0 for 2 with a walk back in the 4th. Pitch from Ruiz, swung on a miss from Rona, 1-1. Ruiz had been nails before that. His best outings, 2 shutout innings against Burlington back on June the 14th, and then 2 shutout innings against these Dans back on June the 19th, which was the start of this Bean Ballers 8-game losing skid. Ruiz out of the stretch, deals to the lefty. Rona skies one in the air, center field. Novominski comes on, and he's got it for out number 1.
Yeah, this is a pitch that Rona gets a lot of, not quite all of it, might be just the tiniest bit under it, the tiniest bit off the end of the bat. Hangs up there long enough, and Novominski trots over and makes the catch for out number 1.
So that'll be the catcher, J.J. Basinger. Much like Roney, he's 0 for 2, but a walk sandwiched in between. And it was his throwing error in the top of the 7th that allowed the Ballers' 4th run to come across the plate. He takes the first pitch upstairs from Ruiz, 1-0. He tried to backpick Brandon Abernathy at first base and just airmailed Nicholas Saddam. One-0 delivery. In there. Bottom of the strike zone, 1-1. Basinger now 2 for 11 against the Bean Ballers in his 4th start. 1-1's outside, 2-1. Still sitting on that little 3-game hitting streak. Started back on Friday when he had a home run against Jackson, and then 1 for 2 the next night, and then 1 for 5 Sunday against O'Fallon. Pitch from Ruiz. Fouled straight back and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Basinger, who over the last week, the right-handed hitter just getting 194 into this game, is hitting .333. 7 hits and 21 at-bats last 7 games, including a home run and a pair of RBIs. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count. And that nice little stretch comes after an 0 for 19 stretch the last 6 games before it was the last time that he faced Decatur when he went 2 for 4. Payoff pitch. Curveball downstairs. Check swing. Did not go. And so Basinger's on with his 2nd walk of the night with 1 out in the Danville 7th.
Yeah, just one that Ruiz almost got a check swing on. Couldn't quite get Basinger to go around on. And now he's got to deal with a base runner as he gives up a walk. We talked about how those are typically uncharacteristic for him, but maybe something he's sort of fallen into after his outing against Jackson and then now today with a 1-out walk.
First pitch to Saddam, in there for a strike. Saddam also 0 for 2, but has drawn a walk. That came back in the 2nd inning. The 0-1. Curveball's upstairs, 1-1. Ruiz now has 4 walks over his last inning and a third pitched, after he had just 1 his first 9 and a third innings. Gives a check over at first on Basinger, but the catcher dives back in safely. Saddam has grounded into a double play tonight. That was back in the 4th. The 1-1. Curveball again is upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Opponents hitting just below 300 against Ruiz, 296. He's given up 16 hits across his 13 and a third innings. 2-1's upstairs, 3 balls and a strike now.
Yeah, he's missing up a lot so far this inning, Truman. The breaking ball, the curveball, either catching the top of the zone or missing up above, and then the fastball has been missing way above. He's got to do a job not to bring it down a little bit, bring it down a lot.
3-1, handcuffs Saddam, who check swing, but it's called a strike anyway. Full count. Now to the Danville 8-hole hitter, making his Danville debut in front of the home crowd here in Danville Stadium. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Back pick to first. Gets away from Petska. So Basinger gets up. He'll head to second. Petska fell down, tripping onto the warning track, but Basinger no further advance. But it's a strikeout nonetheless. But the first error of the night from Decatur moves a man into scoring position for Nick Nelson.
And it looks like the umpire might be sending Basinger back to first, saying that it's possible that Saddam's follow-through affected the throw from Reynolds. So, yeah, making that ruling, Cody Hawkins rules that is the case, and the Bean Ballers given a gift.
So, still no errors for Decatur, who came in boasting the 4th best defense in the Prospect League. Man at first, 2 outs, Nick Nelson. He takes the first pitch strike. Nelson got hit by a pitch with 1 out last inning. Eventually came around to score on the 2-run triple from Nick Palmy. Hitless in his other 2 at-bats. 0-1. Curveball in there, 0-2.
Yeah, Truman, you mentioned the Bean Ballers have been clean on defense, which is really important. This is the first time they're playing on a grass infield in a while, and it's a grass infield that yields weird hops at that. But, of course, the pop-up infield single last inning for Will Burke, the big backbreaker.
0-2's popped into shallow center. Febriette backpedaling. Novominski comes on, but it's the shortstop Febriette who makes the grab, tailing backwards to retire the side. 1 out walk amounts to nothing for Danville. We're ahead to the 8th. Bean Ballers are down to their final 6 outs. They need 2 runs. Trailing 6-4 in the Fisher YouTube channel for your Decatur Bean Ballers.
We've got a pitching change here at Danville Stadium. New to the mound, the new arm, the left-hander, Drew Ogden on the mound. Spent last season right here at Danville Area Community College, a native of Bloomington, Indiana. And while he warms up, we'll take you around the Prospect League, check in on some other action. In a doubleheader, the Kokomo Creek Chubs sweep the Champion City Half-Tracks 3-0 in Game 1, 3-2 in Game 2. The DuBois County Bombers in control late, bottom of the 8th in DuBois County, 11-5. The Bombers lead the Thrillville Thrillbillies. Meanwhile, the Quincy Doggy Paddlers all over the Lafayette Aviators at Loeb Stadium in Indiana. 9-2, the Doggy Paddlers get the victory on the road. The Chillicothe Paints looking for a road victory at the Johnstown Mill Rats. 14-8 is the Paints lead in the bottom of the 8th. The Terre Haute Rex looking to stay undefeated to start the second half. They lead 7-3 in a division matchup with the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes in the Illinois State Capitol, top of the 8th in that one. Meanwhile, bottom of the 8th, Normal Corn Belters ahead at the Clinton Lumber Kings 8-5. The O'Fallon Hoots run rule the Alton River Dragons 15-0 in 8 innings down in Alton. The Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp trailing the Burlington Bees 8-7 top of the 7th down in Illinois Valley. And the first batter that Ogden faces is Jackson Snitko, who flips around to the right side to hit against the lefty. Ogden takes ball 1 away to start things off. The next pitch from Ogden, Snitko takes away again. 2-0, a quick hitter's count for Snitko. The Bean Ballers finally plated runs last inning. 1 run on 3 errors from the Dans, still looking for their first hit since that 3-run third. Next pitch to Snitko, also misses away. A quick 3-0 count to the Bean Ballers All-Star.
And Ogden 3-0 this season. In 10 innings, he does have 12 walks. So much like Caden Davis, this lefty, he's been bit by the free pass, and, well, the Bean Ballers would take a few of those.
The 3-0 catches the outside corner, so it is 3-1 now the count to Snitko. And he's in the batter's box for at least another pitch. Ogden only works from the stretch. The 3-1 off the outside corner, and it's ball 4. Snitko draws a walk. He officially reaches for the first time today, and that'll make way for Misael Maldonado.
That's a dangerous guy to have up as your tying run. The ball has been flying out of the ballpark. We've seen the power Misael holds, and while Ogden has been erratic, if it's a fastball middle, I'm turning and absolutely swinging for the fences if I'm Misael.
Maldonado hitting from the right side. First pitch swinging, fouls it back into the screen, 0-1. It's a Dan's pitching staff that is near the top and has been absolutely stifling so far this year against the Bean Ballers. It's in the first 3 games, Decatur has only plated 8 runs across 29 innings. The 0-1 misses downstairs. Decatur has avoided one of the All-Stars, Sam MacArthur, up to this point. But MacArthur hasn't pitched an inning since last Wednesday, hasn't allowed a run since June 2nd, but yet to appear against the Bean Ballers. They have faced Drake Hoffa so far this season and have not fared well against the other Dan's pitching all-star. Now a 1-1 count to Maldonado. Ogden deals. Maldonado swings and fouls it back. Quickly in the hole, 1-2.
Oh yeah, but this is a season high against the Dans nonetheless. And well, for Ogden last time out, Saturday against Burlington, did give up 2 runs on 2 hits in an inning and 2/3 against the Bees. Then you go back to June 14th, gave up 3 runs against the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. So he's been susceptible to giving up runs.
2-2 line sharply to Palmy, and it eats him up. The ball trails behind him after he gets a glove on it, but can't come up with it cleanly. We'll see how they score it. It was a sharp ground ball off the bat of Misael Maldonado. Snitko safe at second, Maldonado to first. Bean Ballers still without a hit since the 3rd inning, and Truman, Griessel, and I patiently watching the scoreboard. It is the 6th error of the day for the Danville Dans, and the 4th in the last 2 innings.
I mean, nonetheless, even if it's an error hit, I mean, that ball was smoked. Maldonado absolutely smokes this ball, and Palmy just doesn't stay down on it. He tries to backhand instead, chesting it up, and it just eats him alive. And well, the free passes, walks, hit by pitches, and now errors certainly are seeming that it might cost Danville. And maybe the Danville defense might be the all-heart player of the game tonight.
So now to the plate, Hampton Petska looking for his first hit. Instead shows bunt, pops it up behind the plate. Basinger gives chase, but can't quite get to it in time. It's strike 1 for Petska.
Don't really like Arroyo calling bunt for Petska. He's a big slugger, and I'm not saying anybody should be exempt from butting, but I'd let Petska swing a ray right here and see if he can drive something. But I get it, trying to play small ball, trying to mix it up from what you've done. Bean Ballers have not really played small ball this season. Trying to shake it up to break the losing streak.
Ogden deals, misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike now. The count to Petska after the breaking ball is outside and low. Snitko on second, Maldonado on first. The Bean Ballers have a pair of runners on, but still looking for their first hit since the 3rd inning. The 1-1, Petska loops it in the air, shallow left field. Ranging in and over is the left fielder, and making the catch, Jeremy Rona on the play for out number 1. Runners retreat back to their bases.
Yeah, just off the end of the bat from Petska. It was pitch low that at the knees he could drive, but he just gets under it. Just a tough swing on a well-executed pitch from Ogden to get that much-needed first down, but still not out of the jam. But now you have a favorable matchup here, lefty-lefty.
Now Matthew Novominski to the plate. He represents the winning run, tying run on first. First pitch to Novominski, inside, and it hits him. He tosses his bat in frustration because of the pain. But the hit by pitch to Novominski for the Bean Ballers, who keep finding ways other than a hit to get on base, has loaded the bases. Caleb Kreider now to the plate.
Yeah, it's kind of the name of the game sometimes. It's score points or score runs, excuse me, however you can. And hey, if it's because you're getting hit, walked, and your opponent's throwing the ball around the infield, then you'll take it. It's a win is a win at the end of the day, and it doesn't have to be pretty, but you'll take a win. And especially when you've lost 8 in a row, even if you say that, oh, your opponent lost it more than you won it, well, hey, again, a win is a win. There are no moral victories in sports that count for realsies.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you get on base via hit by pitch, walk, error, or hit. A run is a run, a win is a win, as Truman Griessel says. And now bases are juiced. Mound visit disperses after Ogden has loaded the bases and only gotten one out. Caleb Kreider now to the plate, looking for his first hit today. He's got a pair of strikeouts that sandwich his 4th inning ground out. Ogden from the stretch, the first pitch. Kreider takes inside. And now for the Bean Ballers, the tying run is in scoring position. You talk about the scoring opportunities have been few and far between, especially against the Danville Dans all season, but overall throughout this losing streak, they've dwindled even more. You've got a chance here, the 1-0. Kreider takes a strike on a fastball on the outside corner. Snitko off of third, Maldonado off of second. The 1-1. Kreider loops in the air, down the right field line. Burke gives it chase, but it hooks foul. It's a long strike number 2, pushed the other way by Caleb Kreider. One ball and 2 strikes. Snitko off of third, Maldonado off of second, Novominski off of first. Big hole to the left side. The 1-2. Kreider swings, grounds it left side. Stepping on the bag is Bays. Toss across the diamond in time. And the Bean Ballers ground into yet another double play. And a big fat 0 put up by Drew Ogden. Strands the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Still 6-4, the Dans lead. Bottom of the 8th here at Danville Stadium. Daniel Ruiz still on the mound for the Decatur Bean Ballers, who trail 6-4. Daniel Herzog, Truman Griessel back with you. And the Bean Ballers, Truman, just fell victim to something they've been falling victim to all season. You had the bases loaded, 1 out, and you ground into a double play.
Yeah, you had the opportunity, and then you just basically just stifle it away yourself. I mean, Kreider, it's a decent swing, but it's just right at the third baseman Bays. And now you'll be down to your final 3 outs, still trailing by 2.
Now Jacob May to the plate, top of the order, due up for the Dans. May swings at the first pitch from Ruiz, lofts it foul down the third base line, hooks out of play, which draws our attention to Samuel MacArthur, right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Dans, one of the 2 arms for the Dans that will represent Danville in Lafayette at the All-Star game next week. The 0-1 misses upstairs on a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike now, the count to May.
To put it into perspective, the Bean Ballers have now grounded into 31 double plays. That is 6 more than second place Chillicothe.
Ruiz from the stretch, the 1-1. May pops it up, foul down the third base line again, out of play. Quickly in the hole, 1-2. And for Danville as a team, they've only grounded into 5 double plays, so it's 25 more than the Dans. Ruiz deals. 1-2 swung on and missed. May behind a fastball, and he's down on strikes for the second straight at bat. Out number 1 for Ruiz.
Had a good pitch. Mays had a hot bat tonight in his home debut, and Ruiz gets him. And Ruiz's stuff has been much sharper so far than we saw over the weekend against Jackson. He told us so, but he's been sharp tonight. He's trying to throw up a couple of zeros.
The all-star for the Dans, Will Burke, takes a ball upstairs on a fastball. 1-0 now the count to the Tampa native. For Burke today, 2 for 4. He scored a run in each of his last 2 appearances. The first one, a 2-run home run, and then a pop-up on the infield that landed for a base hit. Came around to score back in the 6th, where Danville plated 3 runs. Now here in the bottom of the 8th, he's ahead in the count, 2-0. Ruiz deals. Burke takes upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, it's crazy that Danville has 6 errors, and none of them are as costly as Burke's single that no one on the Bean Ballers infield ever saw, and it landed about 40 feet from home plate.
The 3-0 from Ruiz. Burke takes a strike on the inside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike now. The count to the Dans right fielder. Yeah, you said it, Truman. Bean Ballers have been the beneficiary of some very shaky defense. The Dans have 4 errors in the last 2 innings, but Decatur's only plated 1 run. Burke swings and misses. Count goes full. But meanwhile, Decatur yet to make an error, but a play that should have been made was not made, and thus it's a 6-3 ball game instead of, or rather a 6-4 ball game instead of the Bean Ballers possibly leading 4-3. Full count, payoff pitch from Ruiz. Breaking ball fouled back and out of play. But by the same token, the defensive mishaps for the Dans are what's keeping the Bean Ballers in this one. Decatur without a hit since the 3rd inning, only 3 hits on the board, but it's still a 2-run ball game. Another payoff pitch. Burke fouls it down the right field line, stays alive again. Full count still to Burke. Another payoff pitch. Burke fouls it down the left field line and out of play.
That's been a tight battle. Ruiz has been sticking to the edges of the plate, and Burke's just been spoiling pitch after pitch. Gotta throw him something competitive, but Burke's a good hitter. You don't want to risk the walk and bring Nick Palmy to the plate. His bat's been hot.
This was a 3-0 count now. Several foul balls. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. Burke chases a high heater. He's down on strikes. It's the 2nd strikeout of the inning for Ruiz, 3rd of the game, and they're 2 away for Palmy to the plate.
Yeah, I like that pitch. It had been a lot of stuff low, away, and in, then just raises the eye level and gets Burke to chase. So great pitch and back-to-back strikeouts to start the 8th for Ruiz, and now you face Palmy with nobody on and 2 men out.
Palmy has had a very busy day on the base paths. Lined out his first time up, but then walked and stole a base in the 3rd. Singled and was picked off and caught stealing 3rd in the 5th as he takes strike 1 at the knees and tripled into the gap, hitting from the right side. Now he's hitting from the left side against the righty Ruiz. Tripled into the gap from the right side back in the 6th to score 2 runs. Came around to score on a Mason McReynolds single. Palmy swings and misses at strike 2. Ruiz looking to strike out the side and keep the lead at just 2 for the Dans.
I think it also goes to show that the Dans have capitalized off the mistakes of Decatur, where while the Dans have had 6 errors, granted, the Bean Ballers didn't really capitalize. The Dans just made more mistakes.
The 0-2. Palmy takes in the dirt. 1 and 2 now.
He's in the 7th when they scored a run. It was 3 errors. So as much as the Dans have tried to give this game away, the Bean Ballers have almost been refusing. They're like, hey, no. You guys take it.
Ruiz set for the 1-2. Palmy pops it up in foul ground. It goes out of play, and we'll do it again. The count remains 1-2. But for Palmy, that 2-run triple his last time up in the 6th was his 8th triple, which not only leads the team, it leads the Prospect League, and it's as many doubles and home runs he has combined. The 1-2, Palmy takes downstairs. Count now even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes, Ruiz to Palmy. Checking pretty much every box today. The 2-2, Palmy takes a called strike 3, a fastball on the inside corner. Ruiz strikes out the side in the 8th. We go to the 9th. Bean Ballers trail 6-4 down to their final 3 outs. Last chance for the Decatur Bean Ballers, who trail 6-4 here in the top of the 9th at Danville Stadium. The new arm on the mound for the Dans is Pedro Rangel. And he'll deal with 8-9-1 due up in the Bean Ballers order. Moises Fabriette, Gage Reynolds, and Brandon Abernathy. Last chance for the Bean Ballers. First pitch from Rangel. Breaking ball swung on and missed for strike 1 to Fabriette.
Does have 1 save on the season, a 6.91 ERA. Last time out, inning and a third shutout. 1 hit, 2 strikeouts when he picked up that save against the Jackson Rockabillys on June 25th.
Fabriette seemed to have Not the best grip on his bat, so he gets a little pine tar from Gage Reynolds, who's on deck. Tosses the stick back to Reynolds, and he's back into the batter's box. But the Bean Ballers still down to their final 3 outs. Yet to have a hit since the top of the 3rd inning. 0-1 from Rangel. Chop to the left side. Palmy has it. Tough hop. Toss across the diamond is in time to beat Febriette to first.
Yeah, that time Palmy's able to adjust when gets a big hop off the grass, but then it hits that lip again, and there's a significant difference between the lip of the grass and the dirt. You like to see that tamp down to be more flush, but he handles the hop that was more of a short hop and then makes a strong throw.
So Palmy, who does already have an error today, makes the play. Gage Reynolds to the plate, takes ball 1 in the dirt. Now 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Reynolds. Rangel working from the windup. The 1-0. Reynolds takes away, and it gets by Basinger, who collects a new ball from the home plate umpire, Cody Hawkins. And now for Palmy tonight, we talked about it, he's collected several badges. The 2-0 to Reynolds. Strike 1 at the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike. It's as if he's playing Roblox. So tonight he has a line out, a walk, a stolen base, a caught stealing, a single, a triple, a run scored, an RBI, a strikeout, and an error all in the same game. 2-1 to Reynolds, downstairs at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Palmy's been checking a lot of boxes so far today. The 3-1 to Reynolds. Takes called strike 2 at the knees. And the count goes full. Bean Ballers still only have the tying run on deck. Rangel deals. Breaking ball lofted in the air. Shallow right. Nelson going out. Palmy going out. He makes a running catch. It's certainly not his territory, but Nick Palmy is still up for the task. Ranging all the way over from short and catches it as the 3 guys, May, Burke, and Nelson, are all just perplexed.
Yeah, again, I mean, it runs a long way, about 200 feet to get to this baseball. And, hey, it's a heck of a play made by a shortstop. That's what your shortstop should do. He should be the commander of the offense, the quarterback of the defense. He should want every ball, and he's trying to make up for the several errors he's made tonight. He's made 2 nice plays to start the night.
So now the the first pitch to Brandon Abernathy's low and away, but 2 outs for the Bean Ballers, and they still have the tying run on deck, so someone's got to reach base before they can even think about plating that tying run. The 1-0 to Abernathy. Misses inside, it hits him. And the Bean Ballers now have the tying run to the plate. Abernathy's plunked. A runner on with 2 away here in the top of the 9th.
All right, here you go. The door is slightly ajar. It's being closed, but Danville, they're having trouble with the locks. Another hit by pitch, another free pass, another free base. And now Chase Weiss, a chance to possibly tie this game or at least just extend it. I mean, Jackson Snitko and Misael Maldonado on deck and in the hole.
Rangel deals to Weiss, downstairs, ball 1. And for Abernathy, that is his 8th hit by pitch of the season, twice as many as any other Bean Baller. The next closest, Carter Rich and Matthew Novominski, each with 4.
That's his 3rd in his last 2 games as well.
Rather, Novominski now has 5 after he was plunked back in the 8th. This next pitch runs up and in. Doesn't quite catch Weiss, but it's a 2-0 count for the Bean Ballers' second baseman. He's looking to do some damage in his debut. He's already made his presence felt in the field. He's only hit up to this point today, so far is a bunt single, however. The 2-0 runs inside, and it plunks him. So the tying run is aboard. Jackson Snitko now to the plate as Rangel is back-to-back 2-out hit by pitches.
Yeah, just 2 pitches that have run inside to the 2 right-handed hitters in Abernathy and Weiss. I mean, when you look at the numbers for Rangel, he had 10 walks in 14 1/3 innings coming into this one, so command had been a bit of an issue. He had only hit one, or he does lead the team now. Now 7 hit batters. He came in with 5 hit batters across his 14 1/3. Opponents hitting .295 against him, but you've done exactly what you can't do. You put 2 guys on. Tying run is now on board, and now you have the Bean Ballers' best hitter off of day of rest, Jackson Snitko, who he's looking to do it himself, tie this game, possibly take the lead if it maybe his first home run of the year. But with how erratic Rangel has been, I'm taking until I get a strike. And I'm swinging away and swinging for the fences.
So now the Bean Ballers' leading hitter to the plate. It's Jackson Snitko. And for him today, still looking for his first hit. He's reached on a walk, reached on an error back in the first inning, grounded into a fielder's choice to drive in the first run of the ball game back in the third, and lined out in the fifth. His walk, his last time up in the eighth. He comes up representing the winning run. Runners on first and second. The first pitch, Snitko takes downstairs.
So I'm saying you take till you get a strike with how wild Rangel has. You're not trying to help him out. The only pitch I'm swinging at or possibly thinking about swinging at is a fastball right down the middle.
The 1-0 to Snitko. Misses upstairs. It's 2 balls and no strikes. And the last time these 2 teams faced off, the Bean Ballers were down 3-1 in the bottom of the ninth. Moises Febriette walked to lead things off, stole 2 bases, but was stranded on third. Snitko fouls it back. He does swing before he gets a strike. Does get a strike, fouls it back, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike now, the count to the Bean Ballers DH.
There's no one up in the Dan's bullpen, so this is Rangel's game to save or possibly lose. But it's just him and Snitko, or him and Basinger, his catcher. But Snitko, I'm sitting dead red. I'm trying to mash something.
Next pitch to Snitko. Misses away. It's a big hitter's count, 3-1. And you do have an empty base, but you don't want to bring the tying run in scoring position. You got to think he's got to give Snitko something to hit. 3-1. Rangel deals. Misses low and away. The bases are loaded for the Bean Ballers. Misael Maldonado to the plate. And the tying run now on second, the winning run on first.
Just an unselfish at-bat from Snitko. He spits on everything. Now it's on Maldonado. How many times does he come up? You think of his go-ahead homer against Springfield, but then you think of the couple of times during this losing streak that he's had a chance to walk it off or tie a game. Hasn't come through. Can he finally come through here with a tying run in scoring position?
Rangel from the stretch. Abernathy off of third. First pitch, Maldonado crushes in the air, deep to left, absolutely tattooed, and this one's out of here! A Misael missile, grand slam to left field, and this game is turned on its head.
Papi!
Misael Maldonado. A high five from Gabe Arroyo. And the Bean Ballers have the lead here in the ninth. A 2-out rally. Hit by pitch, walk, and then Maldonado way out of here to left field.
And what Daniel's not telling you is I have been jumping around up here in the press box. My chair fell over. I mean, I pulled the headset off. I mean, what a swing.
The first pitch to Hampton Petska into the box. Strike 1 at the knees, but Rangel looks dejected on the mound. The 0-1 misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike, and that's probably the biggest swing of the bat so far this season for the Bean Ballers, who now lead 8-6. A chance to close things out in the bottom of the ninth. But the 1-1 runs upstairs, 2-1. Rangel still struggling to find the zone.
There's the big hit. That was their, I mean, how many times you said, Daniel? First hit since the third inning is a go-ahead grand slam.
It's the first grand slam of the season for the Bean Ballers. As this next pitch to Petska's fouled back and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But for Maldonado, that's now his team leading 4th home run, his 2nd in the last 4 games. And it means he has 4 home runs, a solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and now a grand slam. The 2-2 to Petska, swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Basinger. But the Bean Ballers turn the game on its head. A grand slam from Misael Maldonado after a trio of 2-out free passes. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 8-6, Decatur leads Danville down to its final 3 outs. Last chance for the Danville Dans in new territory. It was a 6-4 ball game with nobody on and 2 outs in the top of the 9th. And then the Bean Ballers down to their final out. Went hit by pitch, walk, and then Misael Maldonado. A grand slam to left field. And now Daniel Ruiz on for his 3rd inning of work. He has 4, 5, 6. Mason McReynolds, Chase Bays, and Jeremy Rona due up for the Dans. First pitch, right down Main Street with a breaking ball. Strike 1 to McReynolds.
Now again, during this 8-game losing streak, last Tuesday, they lost to Normal after leading 3-2 in the 9th. Can they come through, close this victory out?
0-1, Ruiz misses just high. Count now even, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the next day, the Bean Ballers took the lead in Terre Haute 4-3 before back-to-back solo home runs in the bottom of the 8th. Retook the lead for the Rex. The 1-1, swing and foul back. McReynolds in the hole, 1-2. McReynolds today, a strikeout, but a trio of singles, 3 for 4. A run driven in. But he's in the hole, 1-2. Ruiz has 4 punch-outs, struck out the side back in the 8th. Can he get a strikeout to start the 9th? 1-2, fouled down the left field line, out of play. McReynolds just behind a high fastball. A late swing, but protects what probably was ball 2, but nonetheless stays alive.
Yeah, the key for Ruiz, the tying run is on deck, so you can throw strikes. You don't have to be touchy-feely around the zone. Go right after these hitters.
The 1-2, breaking ball, lined sharply, diving play off the glove of Fabriette and into left field. Fabriette trots over a few feet to pick it up, but the leadoff runner is aboard, and it's the 4th single of the day for Mason McReynolds.
Yeah, this pitcher's scorched, and it's slicing away from Fabriette. He does a great job to get to it just off his glove. They'll go to a pinch runner now.
11. Amir Streeter off the bench to pinch run for Mason McReynolds. That was his 4th hit of the day, the 10th hit for the Dans. And now the tying run to the plate. It's Chase Bays, who's 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch and a walk so far today. A pickoff throw, Streeter back in time. But just to let him know that Ruiz is watching. We have seen, however, runners take advantage of a big leg kick that Ruiz puts into effect and steal bases because of it. The first pitch, Streeter does not go. It's downstairs to Bays. 1-0 now the count.
I think you don't necessarily have to worry about Streeter. He is not a tying run. The tying run's at the plate, so I think if you're Ruiz, it's just you and Gage Reynolds against the batter. Don't worry about Streeter. Can't let the guy at the plate score.
Another pickoff throw. Streeter back in time. Bruno Banuelos is up in the Bean Ballers bullpen. Should Gabe Arroyo elect to remove Daniel Ruiz from the game, but Bays is his batter. The 1-0. Streeter does not go. Bays swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
For all the double plays that Decatur has grounded into this summer, how good would it feel if Chase Bays grounded into a double play right here?
The 1-1. Bays chops foul at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. And for Bays, the strikeout has been an issue. Yet to be punched out so far today. But he struck out 25 times through his first 87 at-bats coming into the contest. Can Ruiz get him? Instead of pickoff throw again, and Streeter back again in time. Streeter is second on the team with 10 stolen bases. Rather tied for second after Palmy got his 10th today. Only caught once, just behind Will Burke, who has 16. The 1-2 from Ruiz. Line sharply into left field. Abernathy plays it on a hop. It's in front of him. Streeter now wants to go first to third. And he will, as Abernathy had trouble picking up the ball. So now the tying run is on first base. And Streeter's on third, first and third. Still nobody out in the bottom of the 9th for the Dans.
All right, now the tying run's aboard. Now it's time to dig down, dig deep. Not panic. Dig down, dig deep. Couple of good pitches in the middle of the zone. 3rd inning of work for Ruiz, and I think Gabe Arroyo is going to go to his closer, the fan favorite. He's going to come out and try to save this game, end the losing streak, and possibly save the season.
So Ruiz will exit. Banuelos will enter. He'll inherit runners on first and third. He'll be tasked with getting 3 outs before the runner on first can score. Have we had enough madness today, or are the Dans in for more? We've got a pitching change here at Danville Stadium. Don't go anywhere. Bottom of the 9th, runners on first and third, nobody out. But the Bean Ballers clinging to an 8-6 lead. Are you cool if I say Truman? I think I'll let you do the honors. Oh, no, you do it. You take it. Me do it? You got it.
Or her. No, here. Daniel, I was mistaken. Out of the bullpen. It's a bird. It's a plane.
No, Truman. It's Bruno Banuelos. Banuelos into the game. Bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Dans after the Bean Ballers took the lead on a grand slam from Misael Maldonado in the top half of this inning. Banuelos inherits runners on first and third. There's nobody away. But Decatur looking to finally, once and for all, kill this losing streak and stop it in its tracks at 8 games.
Yeah, Banuelos, he comes in a very successful Sunday against Jackson. 2 2/3 shutout innings, no hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. He'd blown a save during this losing streak, and he only has 2 appearances out of his 10 where he hasn't given up runs. But the man who has 27 strikeouts in 17 2/3 innings, a 5.60 ERA, looking for his first save.
Jeremy Rona to the plate. The first pitch shows bunt, taps it back to the mound. Banuelos grabs it, tosses home. Reynolds tags out Streeter. Streeter going on the play, and it was bunted right back to Banuelos, who gets the lead runner, and a big first out for the Bean Ballers, who still lead by 2.
Yeah, the Dans were trying to go with a safety squeeze. Not only were they trying to bunt the tying run into scoring position, they were trying to get the first run home, but just a poor bunt from Rona. Doesn't get it anywhere, just rolls up the runway right to the mound. Bruno fields, and then a great communication, great comms, as the kids say these days, between Banuelos and Reynolds. He just flips it to his catcher, who makes a great tag. And now you have a double play set up here with 1 out, but a force out at every base, obviously except home plate with runners at first and second. But that was a much-needed out number 1 way to execute.
It could completely change this game as J.J. Basinger now up to the plate. 0 for 2 with a pair of walks today. Banuelos from the stretch. Peaks at second, now deals home. Basinger swings and misses. Behind a fastball at the knees for strike 1.
This is the part of the lineup you want to face. No hits between the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. They have worked 3 walks and a hit by pitch. So they've reached base, but they've also made a lot of outs. 0 for 8, the collective bottom trio.
Banuelos peeking back at second. Another look. Now deals home. The 0-1. Basinger lofts in the air. Ranging over in right center field. Novominski's under it. He makes the catch for out number 2. And Bays elects not to try and tag up. He retreats back to the base. Still runners at first and second now. The Bean Ballers an out away from their first win since June 18th.
It's been 12 calendar days, 8 games like you said, 1 out away. Not trying to rush to jump to conclusions, but Daniel, this feels like a game, this feels like a win that could really change the momentum of this season and just snap them out of the losing funk.
Now 2 away, runners on first and second. The lineup falls to Nicholas Sadam. First pitch, breaking ball, loops away. Sadam thought about a swing, but ultimately held back as there was a lot of late break on that pitch from Banuelos. Ball 1. And first Sadam today walked his first time up, but since then grounded into a double play and a pair of strikeouts. The 1-0 from Banuelos. Fastball misses low and away. 2 balls and no strikes.
Sadam struck out his last 2 at-bats and grounded into a double play back in the 4th. Don't want to be wary of him. You don't want to walk the tying run into scoring position. If you're Banuelos, you're going right after him with everything you've got in the tank.
The 2-0. Fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Dan's down to their final 2 strikes. Bays is on second. Rona is on first. It's his Dan's debut. Sadam at the plate. It's his Dan's debut. A 2-1 from Banuelos. Misses upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike.
There you go. You're following behind him. Can't give him a fastball middle. It's been 4 fastballs to Sadam. See if he breaks out the slider or just goes heater and tries to beat Saddam, get him to jam him and just roll something over.
Bonuelos looking for his first save of the season. Peaks at second, the 3-1. Fouled back, and the count goes full. The Dans are down to their final strike.
This is also an intriguing situation. 3-2, 2 outs. Both runners will be off and moving on the pitch. So if Saddam gets a hold of this and it's a base hit, watch how far Jeremy Rona runs.
Runners on first and second. Full count, 2 outs. Dans trail by 2. Bonuelos deals. Saddam grounds it up the middle. Past Febriette. It's through for a base hit. 1 run is in. Rona held up at third. He goes first to third. It's an RBI single for Nicholas Saddam. And the tying run is at third base.
Well, there you go. With the runners off and moving, easily scoring is Bays, but then Rona never stops running, so he makes it first to third. Now the tying run 90 feet away.
And now John Toney out to the mound to have a chat with Bonuelos. This was a game that the Bean Ballers, their chances were very slim. They had nobody on, 2 outs in the top of the 9th and trailed by 2. Brandon Abernathy drew a hit by pitch, and then Chase Wees in his Bean Ballers debut drew a hit by pitch. Jackson Snitka walked, and then the biggest swing of the bat all season for Decatur. A Misael Maldonado grand slam out to left. Flipped it on its head. The Bean Ballers were up 8-6 to start this inning. Mason McReynolds led off with a single. He was relieved by a pinch runner, Amir Streeter, who went first to third on a Chase Bays single. But Streeter was thrown out at home on a bunt fielder's choice off the bat of Jeremy Rona. Another pinch runner is into the game. And now Nick Nelson to the plate, but the pinch runner on first base now is Bryce Vorwald. The first pitch from Bonuelos to Nelson. Runner goes. Reynolds doesn't even try to throw down. And actually Vorwald stopped halfway through and just stared down Reynolds before taking second base, as if to say, didn't even want to try me. But now the tying run on third, the winning run at second, but Nick Nelson at the plate. The next pitch from Bonuelos, a strike at the knees. Count now even, 1 ball and 1 strike. For Nelson today, he's 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch and run scored back in the 6th. The 1-1 from Bonuelos. Breaking ball misses away, ball 2. And now if you're Bonuelos, you do have an open base, but 2 up on deck is Jacob May and the top of the order. So you definitely want to get Nelson and stop the Dans in their tracks. The 2-1. Breaking ball just up. And it's ball 3. A confident take by Nelson just above the zone, according to the home plate umpire, Cody Hawkins. Now he's got a 3-1 count. Bonuelos deals. Fastball up and away. The bases are juiced, and the top of the order is up.
About the one thing you couldn't do if you're Bonuelos, walk the 9-hole hitter for Jacob May. What a night it's been for him so far. 2 for 5, a home run in his home debut. But it's just you and Gage Reynolds. Don't even worry about the runners. You're 1 out away. Find it, dig deep, find a way, find a way.
Bonuelos to May, the first pitch. Fastball grounded right side, and it's through for a base hit. 1 run is in. The winning run coming in to score, and the Dans have walked it off. An RBI single on the first pitch to Jacob May. Scores Saddam from second and Rona from third. And after the Bean Ballers get a grand slam from Misael Maldonado in the top half of the ninth, they give up a 3 spot and can't get out number 3 and drop this one at Danville Stadium 9-8. Now, Truman, I'm at a loss for words.
This might be the most heartbreaking loss of this losing streak. It wasn't a 1-run lead. All he had to do was pretty much throw strikes, but back-to-back singles off for Wees, and Bruno couldn't shut the door. I'm sitting here, and I mean, credit Danville. What a job for all the times they tried to lose it. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, and then realized that defeat didn't taste as good as victory, and snatched the victory right back out of the jaws of defeat. But man, I mean, this is going to be a long bus ride back to Decatur. I mean, you had the opportunity. You had your guy on the mound. All you had to do, you were 1 out away, and you go single, walk, single, and you lose. And when it rains, it pours, and when it pours, it floods, and when it floods, it destroys. And when it destroys it, well, it creates immense sadness. And I got nothing. I mean, back at it tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, truly a tough loss to swallow for the Bean Ballers. Now losers of 9 straight, with the Dans right now bookending the losing streak, the first loss and the 9th loss. And after you had just had maybe the biggest swing of the season, a grand slam from Misael Maldonado, you still can't quite close it out in the 9th inning as the Dans push 3 across. So that'll do it here from Danville Stadium. From my broadcast partner, Truman Griessel, I've been Daniel Herzog, saying so long one final time as the Bean Ballers drop this one 9-8 to the Danville Dans. We'll be back tomorrow on the official YouTube channel of the Decatur Bean Ballers for a matchup between Decatur and the Clinton Lumber Kings over in Iowa. But thank